haven't heard a Jeff Sky verse that I was like, nah, that ain't it. Like he's always he's a very consistent artist. And I think he's like I was saying this to you earlier.
It's because his voice like this.
Yes, dude. He's got his tone down. He's got that tone down.
And his voice is really catchy though.
Dude, you got your Jeff Sky impression is not bad.
It's good.
Oh my God! Wow.
I'm just trying to roll up the weed.
I'm not.
We
Wow.
don't smoke it on my weed.
Dude, I'm not even gonna try because I've never practiced and I would embarrass myself.
Oh, dude.
Wow.
I'll be like, I'm good at like voice impersonation.
3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to episode 31 of Ruse Radio.
31, baby.
31, baby. Who do we got with us today?
My name is Camm Lapeen. I am a trap metal artist out of Flint, Michigan. And we're here to talk about some random shit.
He's right. We're here to talk about some random shit today, folks. What kind of random shit could we talk about? We were just talking about screams.
Sure.
So we might as well continue on that. You were telling me about the different kinds of screams?
Yeah, dude. There's lots of different types of screams. There's like gutturals, there's pig squeals, there is fry screams. That's pretty much what I do is fry screaming. It's more of like an airy, more from the throat type of scream, but there's all different types of screams that you can look up, and everybody, like, every individual has a different type of scream, pretty much. I mean, you can, like, learn how to, like, scream, like all the different types of screams if you look it up and stuff, but like your voice naturally has its own uniqueness, you know what I mean? So your scream's gonna sound a lot different compared to mine.
That's
like
true.
At the end of the day, just like a singing voice, you know. So
because it's like a singing voice in general. Nobody's singing voice sounds like everyone else's singing voice.
Right.
Like it's like I've had people ask me like, where did you find your rap voice? And I find that to be such a flattering question.
Yeah.
Because it's like I never even found it. It just kind of is like something that. If anyone were ever to ask, like, how you would find it, it's just, I feel like it's just a natural thing. It's like your voice has this resonance to it usually, and not everybody's a perfect singer. Some people need a lot more work, but a lot of the time there's something you can do with your voice if you just throw it the right way. You know, I've always been able to do animal noises, and it's funny because I really truly think that the animal noises, like if I like that, I'm doing it from my throat.
Your throat, right, and more of a head voice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that was singing training all along the way.
Yeah.
Because it trains you to kind of use your voice differently, and that's what my rap voice is. Honestly, it's just like it's throwing my voice in that same way as when I'm doing like a sound effect. Like I'm not talking now, I'm rapping, talking, but if I go back down here, I'm talking.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's just kind of you find a tone in your voice almost. You know?
Yeah, yep. And it takes time to find that tone. It takes a lot of practice and, experimenting with your voice to find that tone. So
for sure. Because it's not something that happens right away. I mean, if you're lucky if it does. Or if you're just a great singer. Because the other thing I was going to say is you can tell when people they haven't found their voice yet, and they're kind of like emulating a style rather than doing their own kind of thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like, it's kind of part of being your own artist, I feel like, is finding your own voice.
Yeah, I
think you do that really well with your style of music.
Yeah.
Because the music you make isn't necessary, a lot of the time, like your especially your individual stuff or your stuff with Skytzo, it's very like metal oriented, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that within itself isn't like, you see stuff like that, but especially in our scene, you don't really see a lot of people doing it in the way you're doing it too. So there's stuff like that where you do have your own voice and no one can say you're getting it from so-and-so, And I think that stuff's really valuable.
Yeah, dude. It's, I've never really prided myself on being like the most lyrical best artist out there.
Yeah.
Even though I am, progressing and getting better with that.
Yeah.
I've just always prided myself on like being able to mix it up, you know what I mean, and just like pretty much do like all these different genres because like as a little kid, like growing up, I listened to all these different genres and they all had an impact on me, to the point to where when I got to the age I am now, like it just took an effect in the music once I started pursuing that career, you know what I mean? So it's like, or not career, but, you know, pathway, whatever. So, you know, I feel like it is like pretty much a lot of your sound might even come from that, like the type of music you've listened to your whole life, you know, and that's going to have an effect on your voice or your style, you know, and it's kind of interesting to hear, you know, like, what did you listen to, you know, growing up?
What did I listen to growing up?
Yeah.
Oh, man, let me think. I listened to, hold on, I was fucking with shit over here. Okay, well, first of all, I wanted to respond to the thing you were saying, because I agree. I think that it is totally true that, you know, our influences tend to influence us in ways that, you know, we can't even comprehend. And that's why I don't really find any shame in drawing from my influences or anything like that, or if anybody finds any connections between me and my influences, because it's like, honestly, it's like a compliment to me. I think that, you know, there's this thing on YouTube, it's a documentary, it's called Everything is a Remix. And the whole idea is that everything is a remix, you know, and nothing you truly do or create, I should say, nothing you think you've created by yourself all on your lonesome, like almost every time, it's not your own thing, it's this and this and this all combined to make this thing. And that's just the natural evolution of everything that's created. And that's kind of like, I think that's a beautiful thing when it comes to creation, because we all have this like ability to take from our influences and make something of our own along the way out of that. So, you know, that's kind of how I look at it, at that whole thing. It's like, you know, of course you can pick out influences in certain people, but at a certain point when you develop, you know, your own voice and your own tone, it gets to the point where it doesn't really, those other fact, like if I told you all these things that built up to that, you might be able to pick them out.
Right.
But, you know, it's its own thing. I mean, when it comes to me, what I listened to growing up, the first rap I ever really heard was, of course, Eminem. It was Eminem. Because
every white kid's rapper.
Kid, yep. I know, that's why it's so funny to say it. It was on my mom's van. It was like one of the only like cool things in my mom's van, and my brother had put it on there, like from the CDs that he had.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was like dirty music, and I'm a little kid, and this stuff's awesome.
Yeah.
And I suppose
you never heard anything like that probably before.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, you know, I always thought it was cool. I mean, I don't know if I would say like Eminem's the best rapper ever, but I'm sure it influenced me a lot because, you know, I'd say as a lyricist, he's one of the best.
Well, you kind of have a more of a lyricist style too, so maybe it did have an effect in that aspect. You know, maybe you like more music that's more lyrically, you know,
someone
driven.
Like Kendrick, I love a lot, and you can even see how someone like Kendrick is influenced by people like Eminem and Wayne, too. And because Wayne's lyrical, but he's lyrical in this totally different way. And I didn't listen to him a bunch growing up, but he is like gold. Every single Lil Wayne song I hear, I'm like, how have I not?
Freestyle King,
He's amazing. Yeah. His lyricism. And then that's the real thing that's always stuck out for me. Like, whoever it is, you know, there's certain, and there's other artists that just, they're lyricists, but they also put in a lot of work, like Tech Nine. I listened to him growing up.
Tech Nine, like he's dope.
And his work ethic is so cool because he never, to this day, I'm pretty sure it's like an album or two a year.
Yeah, but he likes kind of do what I do. He'll like do metal stuff and like, you know.
You're right.
I've heard him do songs with, I think,
he travels with a band.
Dude from Slipknot or whatever.
Oh, he's done a couple with Corey Taylor now. Yeah.
Dude, that shit's dope, bro. Like, anytime you're, like, bringing two different genres together like that and doing shit, like, that's never been done before. Like, him, a really lyricist rapper, getting together with a dude from Slipknot, you know what I mean? Like, a band that's completely, like, in a whole nother realm of rap, you know what I mean? Like, there's not even close to that type of genre, you know what I mean? So it's just cool that, like, more and more people are starting to do this, you know, mixing the genres together, and I love seeing that shit, honestly.
Yeah, because the way I look at it, music is music is music is music is music.
Right.
And the more we sit here and we think, like, I'm going to write a rap song, and this is going to be a dope rap song, and then we get into the subjects of rap songs, and then we start staying there.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing now? Because now we're not making music, we're fitting the image of something.
We're just getting stuck in one category.
Exactly.
Dude. You know what I mean?
And I'm not hating on whatever it is. It's just, to me, music is an organic creation. And so, like, I'll hear an instrumental, and that's like, okay, well, now I'm hearing melodies in my head. If I rap, I rap. But it's like, is this a rap song? Is it not? Because sometimes you'll hear 808s, but it's like, this is not a rap song.
Right.
It'd be better if I didn't rap here. And sometimes simpler is better. But, you know, if you come at a song the same way every time, and there's not always something wrong with that, I'm just saying, like, I feel like musicality itself is all about being able to adapt to these different musical environments and being able to be yourself in all these different ways. Or at least, you know, you're showing how in touch with yourself you are through the music. And so it really is cool when you see people truly expressing themselves rather than fitting some kind of mold. And I'm not even saying that people do that on purpose. It just kind of happens naturally a lot of the time, where it's like, rap is this to people, and so they kind of think that's what it is. And why would I make anything else? Why would I try if that's not going to entertain people anyway? That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for a trap song.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a shame.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, dude. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, they just box themselves in, pretty much, is what it comes down to.
I agree with that, yeah.
And you know, you're losing like a lot of fan base doing that, really, because the same person who may not like your rap song, they might like your singing song that you have, because that's more of their type of vibe. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I just think that the more you open up to different genres and more different, you know, types of, you know, music, you're just gonna get more of a fan base too and expand your name, you know. So it's kind of a good thing for that as well, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
But dude, this is what I want to talk about.
Talk about it.
We got to talk about what you got cooking up in this place right here. What your plans are for the new studio. I want to let people know what you got going on in
you're
here,
so
dude.
sweet.
You just talked
You're
about this
plugging
earlier.
me.
Yeah, I want
You're
you
great.
to let them
You're
know
great,
what's going on.
I try not to plug myself too hard. So here we go.
Let them know what's going on.
Here we go. The Ruse Stew is really coming together, my guys. I said this at the end of the last podcast. I did. I kind of dropped a little info, but I really should tell you a little bit more, baby. So let me tell you a little bit more. What's this behind me? Oh, we're soundproofing this room. Before we had a wall behind me. Now we got a little bit of sound treatment. If I go, it doesn't echo as much, and that's pretty cool.
Hell yeah. We got over there. I finally bought it. I figured for podcasts, I'd rather not use it, but it's my isolation shield. So boom, yes, sir.
We're closed off. What else do we got? We're in a room.
We're closed off. We're pretty closed off right now. Yeah.
I mean like, here, I can do it. I'm moving the camera. Look at this. I'm zooming out.
Show them what's up.
I'm zooming out.
We
I'm
got
pulling
the
it back.
wall.
So for the audio people that are listening, we got walls up right now, and I'm showing it on video. That's where we got Cam over here. And it's, you know, it's still a work in progress, but the point is, before, my whole life, you know, I've been recording into the corner of a room. That's what I've been making happen.
Yeah.
And I've been making it work. I've been making some dope stuff, but...
We've all been there.
Yeah. And I, you know, I'm not even talking crap. I testify to everybody ever that anybody listens to me. I say, please just try your best to mix and master your stuff yourself, record it yourself. You will thank yourself later. I say it all the time. So I'm not even saying, like, you need all this stuff to start. But, Ruse is upgrading. Dude. I also got studio monitors I didn't even mention that are sitting around me over here. So Ruse be sitting here getting a real vibe by himself sometimes. Just chilling.
Yeah,
so,
this is some gold shit. Like, I'm trying to get some shit in my house like this someday, you know what I mean? Like,
dude, I'll tell you, the walls themselves, I paid about $250, and I still got to return some stuff.
Nice.
And then because I don't know how much you can do in your house if you're able to do something like this or not.
Right.
But it's like getting the walls, and then it's just getting somebody, or if you can do it, to just put them up. Because it's drywall and it's 2x4s, dude.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's doing all of this.
Yeah.
Because, like, I really just needed some kind of isolation. especially for recording. And it's just like, you know, what we're doing right now. If we were in my bedroom, we're in my bedroom.
Right.
But we're not in my bedroom. We're kind of in a space where
Right.
it feels like we're doing a thing. So I feel like that whole kind of vibe, it just sets something different. And I think that's really important to have a creative space that's your own.
For sure. It sets the vibe, like you're saying, you know.
Yeah. Even if it's just inside of your headphones. Even if you just pop on those headphones and you're in your own space.
Yeah, you know.
That's good enough sometimes.
Sometimes just like smoking a blunt and just freaking just vibing out to the instrumental, you know.
I've been there.
Some lighting going in the room, you know what I mean?
I've been on a school bus doing that for years, baby.
For some reason, there's like the right lighting in the room.
Yeah.
Like it sets the mood, bro. Like that's what I like about them. My dudes at Wave Village, in their studio, they got like these like lights up in the top.
I need to get strip lights.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
It's not strip lights.
Kind of like, or is it LEDs
it's,
like this?
Yeah, it's like LEDs. Yeah, but they like change colors, and it also changes colors.
I was thinking about those because somebody actually suggested that, and the thing that's cool about that is if you're like doing a metal song, maybe you want red.
That's what I did.
That's
what we did too.
Is that what you did?
Yeah,
you chose red.
Me and Skytzo went there, and I was
that is so funny.
He was like, Kevin was like, what color you want in here? I'm like, bro, it's gotta be red in here. I was like, we're screaming on this shit, bro.
How would I know?
Yeah.
Red's just that color.
Yeah, and it worked too. That song was a banger, so I'm excited. Shout out to Wave Village.
So tell me more, since I just gave a little info about the Ruse Stew. That's the name. Let's hear a little bit about these new songs coming out from, because you told me you got December 11th we got a drop, and then we got this new song you just recorded at Wave Village. So I suppose we got two things we can learn about.
Well, like, low-key, I'm always, like, working on stuff, so, like, you know, what I just recorded at Wave Village, that's just, like, another song in the vault type of shit, but December 11th, we got Lana Del Rey Part 2 dropping with a music video, and that's featuring Kevin Clouds on that. You guys got to check out to that. That will be on all platforms, so whatever streaming website you like to use, look up Camm Lapeen, that's CAMMLAPEEN. I'd appreciate it. Seriously, like, you don't know how much we appreciate you guys sharing our videos, just giving it a like. One share can go, like, so far. Like, that's what you guys, if you're watching this video, you need to understand that, because, like, I have a lot of friends that don't even share my videos, you know what I mean? But this would help out tremendously if you guys just share these locals artists' videos and whatever content they're putting out. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. We do appreciate it, homies. It'd be pretty cool, guys. You know what I say, or at least what I saw, and I believe this, is I saw a thing, and it was like a statistic, and it said that people are like, I think like, I said 20 times. Now, I don't know if that part's true, but it said people are 20 times more likely to look at something if their friend shared it rather than the business themselves or the person themselves.
Wow, really?
Which I believe that. Maybe not 20 times, but still way more likely. Because think about it. If you see your friend share something, then and it's their song, you may or may not click on it. You should, because you should support them, like you just said.
Right.
But, you know, the mentality is different than if you see somebody you know share something, and then it's like it's somebody else's song, because it's like they're sharing it because they liked it, not because they're trying to advertise it. I think that's kind of what's happening.
I think that's kind of weird, though, because, like, it's almost like they got to wait for other people to start doing it so they, like, feel okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like it feels like a high school thing. Like,
it is.
Like, I'm not gonna do that until everybody else is doing it, because, you know, I don't want to be the weird kid doing it, you know. That's why, like,
it's hard because, like, and it's you know, dude, I used to have this mentality where it was like, okay, well, we're all doing the same game, so we're all like, and we're all just trying to get interactions, so that, like, if you're looking at it from like a business perspective, I'm running a page, I'm trying to get interactions on my post, so I'm making content that people would naturally, like, maybe want to share, maybe want to comment on. Now, I'm not saying like I'm amazing at that, but, like, that's how I used to kind of think about it all the time, is like, that's what's going on here, that's what we're doing.
Right.
And, like, over time, it's just like, it wears you down thinking about things like that so much, because really, it's like what I was saying about music and the creative process, you don't want to be thinking about all of this stuff with, how I'm going to make this post and what the caption's going to be and whether or not people are going to respond. And if you just spend all your creative energy on that, it actually takes away from your other creative energy, because you only have so much. So like it, I feel like it's one of those things where you kind of have to like, over time, because it's hard at first, but you have to put out content, but you have to like get to a point where you're just comfortable doing it. Like you don't want to force it, because if you're just trying so hard to get all this stuff out, it's depressing. Honestly, it wears you out.
Yeah, and that's something that like I can admit that I really struggle with myself, is just like making the right posts on social media. Because like, dude, I really don't even care to be on social media. You know what I mean? Like in all reality, I wish that somebody could just run it for me, type of thing.
Yeah.
But like, I think that this is where I struggle as an artist, and I'm aware of it. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm more so interested in like the creative aspect of making music. I'm not into the social media shit, bro. Like, and into like, the marketing side of it, really, even. Because let's be honest, like, the best way you can market stuff is through social media right now. So, especially with COVID going on and everything. So it's like, but I've never found an interest in that, so I struggle with that. I find interest in like making the music and,
that's
and
like,
just putting it out there so people will like it. But, but you got to put it out there to a lot of people, but that's not what I'm really interested in. Like, I guess if people want to share it around, that's cool, and I appreciate that. But like, I'm not gonna, like, that's pretty much where it's gonna stay. I feel like for me, because I kind of given up on like trying to like make it. You know what I mean? Like, to me, this is just for like myself, and for like the people that fuck with me. Like, I'm gonna keep doing this for like all of them, because like really, like, them like telling me all the like that they fuck with my music and shit like that like makes me want to keep doing it. You know what I mean? And like, not like trying to make it. I don't give a fuck about that anymore, bro. Like, really, I didn't give a fuck about that to begin with. But people, they like plant seeds in your head, like telling you, oh, you're gonna blow up, bro. You know what I mean? Like, your shit's really good. You're gonna blow up. Like, they'll tell you shit like this, and like you start thinking like, man, maybe I am like really good and I could do this, and I'm gonna blow up. But then like I think that you do have to kind of come to grips with reality, and just like my genre of music isn't the biggest genre to begin with. Like, metal music is like literally the lowest on the scale of like people who listen to it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I came to grips with that, and just the fact that what's gonna come is gonna come, and if I keep my mind simple and just focusing like on just doing this for like my mental health, and just putting like trying to relate to people through my music. If I just focus on just like on that, I feel like where I'm the most like myself. You know what I mean? And that's where that's pretty much what I found over the past like 3 to 4 years through this musical journey. Of roller coasters.
When I started making music, I never made it for other people. Never. I mean, in the sense that I make it for other people, in the sense that I would like for you to hear it and interpret it and get your own thing out of it, for sure.
Yeah,
but when I'm writing a song, like, I'm not thinking like I want you to like I don't want anything out of somebody when I write a song, is kind of what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter to me how you take it. Like, take it your own way. That's kind of the fun part for me. But like, I'm not thinking about that. Like, because if it's like overthinking. And the other thing is like, I mean, that's kind of the whole point I was making too. Is what you're saying. It's tiring to the point where you don't even want to do that. Like, some people are more cut out for it, but other people, that's not even the point of what you're doing.
No.
See, for me, and the reason I even said that in response is because for me, it's like, it would be great to get the affirmation of acknowledgement. That's great. Like, if people were to say, if I had pools of people all giving me affirmation saying, hey, this is good. I support this.
Yeah.
Then that's awesome because now I know it's not all in my head. I know.
Yeah.
Because I know.
Yeah.
But the other thing is like, it's like what I was saying to you earlier before the podcast, where it's like if I affected like 2 people or 200 people, either way, I change something for 2 people
Right.
or 200 people, and that's the most important part.
Yeah,
like
that's
I
awesome.
could affect you emotionally, and I would much rather do that than become famous and get money. I would
Right.
rather know that I'm emotionally resonating with people on like a personal level.
Yeah.
And that's what music is to me. It's like
Right.
we're out here and, we're actually trying to connect with people rather than just do the next thing.
Yeah, dude. And I think that's pretty much like you hit the nail on the head. If you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave you killed that, dude. 'Cause-
Oh, well, I was just following you.
Yeah.
What you said made me think of it.
Yeah, bro. Hold on.
He's finishing the coffee.
I gotta get some more coffee, bro.
I know that's what you
I'm
were
like-
thinking because I saw you just down the last of it.
I love sipping on the coffee. That's what I was thinking about, low key. I'm like,
I
man, should
love
I go and get
coffee.
some coffee right now?
I love coffee.
Nah, I'm gonna chill, but I'm gonna start like.
If you need
freaking
more
out.
coffee, feel free. I won't
No,
stop
I feel
you.
like I need to drink some of this water actually because I feel
I
like I'm
know.
kind of getting like the shakes, you know.
I know, dude.
Like
I like that's
caffeine
why
overload.
that's why I try to like level out the coffee with the water because I just know. I know that not only that, but it's just coffee. You can't just drink straight coffee, bruh. No, you probably can't do that.
No,
I feel like some doctors.
I'm starting to sweat. I feel like I popped a Molly, and it's because of that coffee for sure.
I bet it is.
Yes.
It's not that Molly that you pop.
No.
No, it's the coffee.
Yeah, dude. But I don't know, man. Have you like who's new artists that have been blowing up that you've been hearing about?
You
or-
mean like local? You
Yeah,
mean, like,
yeah. Like, cause honestly, I've been kind of out of the loop, like as far as like newer artists.
okay, I'll
like,
say
We all know who's like well known right
Yeah.
now, but I'm saying like, do you know anybody that's kind of coming up that
okay.
you've been paying attention to, or?
I always drop his name. I'm like a little fanboy. I'll say the 2 that I always say. And I'll see if I can come up with a couple more I like a lot. But Lil Lurka, of course. Lil Lurka is so dope. His videos are always fire. His songs are always like, it's like what we're talking about. He doesn't make rap music per se.
Yeah.
He does. Are you familiar with Lil Lurka?
Yeah, yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about then. Yeah. He's all over the place in a
Yeah.
good way.
Mhm.
And so somebody like him, I totally, it's like, I just said this in the last podcast with Mystery. I said that usually it's hard for me to pick favorites, but I look for people who I can see qualities of myself within. And somebody like that, I can see that he's like doing all this stuff that's not like conventional. He's like he's going out of the box. And not only that, he produces so much video content for his
Yeah.
songs. You can tell that like there's a lot of attention paid to each thing that he's going on. Like he's a very,
Yes.
very intricate personality when it comes to his
Yep.
art. And that
Yep.
kind of stuff is cool to me. Somebody else, Vega, if you're familiar with Vega,
I don't know. I'm not sure.
he's like, Vega. He's got a
Okay.
mixtape where it's called Holographic. It's like holographic Pokemon cards.
okay.
And so it's kind of like he'll have all these like video gaming kind of bars. And on that album, there's like a
It's
bunch
kind
of
of
like
he's kind of like got like a little nerdy swag to him a little bit. That's cool.
But he does it really well.
That's cool, yeah.
And he's a really good
Actually-
lyricist along the way.
Just like being himself, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, because that's stuff that he likes, and he's just incorporating it. So somebody like that, he's a great lyricist, and he's also got his style really down. Like, he's just a fun guy to listen to.
Yeah.
I'm friends with him on Facebook, and he's always posting just like, he's making memes in real life. He's just out there making memes. That's his personality. So he's a cool guy.
He's a living meme.
He is. Vega is a living meme. And so those guys I always shout out. Oh, Gabe Sinclair.
Yeah,
He's been
I know
around for a
Gabe.
minute. You know
He's-
Gabe.
Well, I mean, I don't like know.
But you're familiar with
Yeah,
his-
I've heard his music. Yeah, he's dope, man. Like I see a lot of myself in him. Like just as far as genre bending.
Yeah.
Same thing with Lurka, really too.
He
And I'm-
produces a lot of his own stuff. Gabe does.
Yeah,
Almost
yeah.
all of it, I believe.
Yeah.
If not all.
That's awesome. I didn't.
Yeah.
I actually had a vibe that he was doing that just from like watching
He's a great producer.
Instagram stories and But I seen him
Yeah.
like post little clips.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I didn't know that for a fact.
Yep.
There's a lot of people.
His 808s are fire.
Bro,
His
people-
808s knock.
Yeah. People like sleep on a lot of these artists around here.
Yeah.
Like,
Are there any that stick out to you?
Yeah, like I think that 12 Dead Roses should like done already.
Now I feel
up.
bad for not saying them.
Oh,
they are so good.
I mean, there's so many artists in Flint though, so it's like you can't.
You're right.
We could say as many as we wanted to right now, and we still wouldn't say all the badass artists, you know. That
we'd be overwhelmed, and they'd be like, "What is this? Are they speaking like some Flint language?"
Yeah.
No, Slade and Yamamoto.
Yeah,
Yama.
I'm actually about to be recording with Yama tomorrow. We locked in some studio time. Yeah.
Because Slade just dropped his own solo track too. So is Yama doing his own solo stuff along the way?
I'm not really sure, you know, like I'm not really in touch with like what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I'm probably figure it out tomorrow.
They're fire,
but I do think Yama is kind of like recording people now. So
yeah.
You know,
he posted.
If people
I know what
need
you're
some
talking about.
recordings, you know.
For anybody who's interested, Yama is offering recording. I think it was like 50 a song, 60 a song, right?
I think it's like 60 a song. I think that's
not bad.
No, that's really good.
I think I saw the same post.
Yeah, if you listen to his shit too, it sounds crisp. You know what I mean?
He's a great producer as well.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm thinking of Skytzo. Skytzo's a great producer.
We're talking about Yama.
But I will shout out Skytzo along the way right
my
there.
Boy, bro.
Skytzo's great. Shout out to Skitz. Yama's got bars. He's got this swag that's like comes out of nowhere. It's like, whoa, you are something else, boy.
Yeah, like there's like him and Slade, bro. Like I feel like
together they are like, whoa, they have a different vibe.
That's what I was gonna say, bro.
Yeah.
Their vibe, like you get around, just like I don't know, bro. They got like that it factor. I feel like
dude,
when you look at
their album on
SoundCloud
that I heard, it was like funky almost.
Oh, dude, yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they mix this shit up, bro, too. You know, so that's a big reason why I fuck with them. You know what I mean? I think like, Jeff Sky is dope as fuck. Like,
I shout out Jeff all the time. I really do.
Yeah.
I love Jeff.
I mean,
I really like his music is quality. Stuff.
I think that like as far as like making songs, he's probably like good catchy songs that people like and want to listen to. You know, he's probably the best in the city at that.
I honestly think I haven't heard a Jeff Sky verse that I was like, nah, that ain't it. Like he's always he's a very consistent artist, and I think he's like I was saying this to you earlier.
It's because his voice like this.
Yes, dude, he's got his tone down. He's got that tone down.
And his voice is really catchy though.
Dude, you got your Jeff Sky impression is not bad.
It's good.
Oh my God! Wow.
I'm just trying to roll up the weed.
I'm not.
We
wow.
gonna smoke it up my weed.
Dude, I'm not even gonna try because I've never practiced and I would embarrass myself.
Oh, dude.
Wow.
I'll be like, I'm good at like voice impersonations, bro. Like, low key, I can do like, I can do that shit all day. But yeah, Jeff, like, he got that smooth voice.
He really does.
You hear that shit, you're like, okay, I'm about to spark up a joint to this. Mm-hmm. You're blowing whatever you fucking like, but.
And I think his beat selection's really good too. Like he's really good at like he's got that kind of like I don't want to say stoner thing, but just that kind of like
stoner for sure.
Chill 808 kind of vibe.
It's
and his voice
stoner.
sounds so good over the beats he chooses. Like, you know, that song he did with Camm Howe is the most different I think I've ever heard Jeff Sky sound. And it's still great.
Like that's what's kind of funny is I heard a song he like we were just recording a song in the studio and I overheard him like playing a Detroit beat that he was about to like do a verse to or whatever.
Yeah.
With somebody. I don't know. You know what I mean though, by the Detroit beat, like it's like that like T Grizzly style shit.
Oh, for sure.
And his voice sounded dope on that too, bro. I was like, I would not expect your voice to like sound good with that type of shit, but it sounded good. You know what I mean?
He's got that chameleon flow.
Yeah, it was like. I don't know. Maybe I just liked it because it was a different song. Like he never did something, or at least I didn't hear him do a song like that before.
I don't like when people branch out like that. It's like what you were saying about genre bending, though. Yeah, it's like
and it's genre bending, but it's still within the like rap. So that's the thing, bro. Like every genre's got like sub-genres within it. You know what I mean?
You know, I used to say this a lot. I haven't said it in a while, but I'll say it again. Rap music. I can't remember who I steal this from, but I heard it somewhere. It's like rap music's going through what rock music went through in the 70s.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a shame that we didn't classify hip-hop music. Like, we should have a hip-hop music awards where it's like, this is trap, this is emo, like all these different categories, right?
Why don't we do that?
Why don't we do that?
That would be dope.
Because that's what it is.
So many people would tune into that because that's like relevant and shit, you know what I mean? Like with the time.
I agree.
Like I haven't tuned into a fucking thing like that in forever because they're playing like Taylor Swift's winning it every fucking year. You know
well,
what I mean?
that's because like the people who are even voting on that, they're not even the people that are in touch. It's just these like record executives or people who pay to be people who can vote.
Right.
It's just so weird how that works because like
I don't even understand that.
I don't
shit.
understand that either. Like I think the People's Awards are the best way to do it. Like there are still, you could say people would cheat, but like it really should be some way where people vote for the best songs. But the whole point I'm making about rap music is that if we had some kind of classification, because when you say hip hop, a lot of the time people ain't really talking about hip hop.
Right.
They're talking about something else. Like they're talking about emo rap or trap music. Or
It could be so many different things.
Yeah,
really.
there's so many different things nowadays. But like, to me, hip hop, we're talking like boom bappy kind of stuff. We're talking lyrical, like over some
like
nice drums and just a voice that's saying words that you have to think about.
Right.
And it's lyrical. It's like hip hop. Hip hop's about the words. That's what it's always been. So nowadays we got all this music that's more about the vibe, and that's fine.
Right.
But like, that's not necessarily. I mean, maybe it is, but we should I think we should just have different classifications. Like, it should fall under the umbrella, but it shouldn't be the same thing.
Yeah. That should be like, exactly what you're saying.
It's
like
just so weird that we don't have that. Like, you know?
Yeah, and this is what I got in a discussion with somebody before because they were saying like they think it's stupid how people like they'll be like, oh, I'm a singer, and I'm a rapper. It's like, no, just be one thing. Or it's like how I do trap metal, how the genre we call it trap metal. They're like, no, don't call it trap metal, just call it rap or just call it metal.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why? Like, what did people do before metal was like the metal genre was made? What were they calling that type of music? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So like, what were they calling hip hop before it was hip hop? You know what I mean? Like.
They didn't call it anything, dude.
You know what I mean?
It didn't exist.
Somebody came up with the name of the genre and decided this is going to be this. So why can't they do that more, though? You know what I mean? Like, it's like they just stop at hip hop and then they just stop at metal and they like. But actually, I did look on Spotify and see that they're doing some kind of subgenre thing, like because like when I looked at my favorites for this year, it said like it was very specific to which type of metal. There was like post hardcore, and then it was like. A lot like progressive metal, you know what I mean, and death metal. Like there was different genres. It didn't just say metal.
Right. Like they're trying to switch up at least for metal. They're trying to make it so there's a couple extra things.
I think it's with rap too because I saw emo rap and I saw
interesting
punk rap or something. It said you know what I mean. Like so for like the emo style rappers, you know, like Lil Peep or whatever. Like they're starting to come up with genres because there's so many artists that do that. So they're like. We need something else to classify this as because...
They're becoming self-aware.
Yeah, which I fuck with Spotify for that, dude. Spotify, like, they're on their shit compared to a lot of other music platforms. And
I agree. So. I like Spotify. I wish that they did at least what Tidal does. And I also, I ain't afraid to say it, yo.
What do you mean?
Because they have Tidal makes it so there's like a better streaming... You're paying more, but they make it so you can have a better streaming quality. It's like hi-fi is what they call it. But it is true. It's like a higher...
like the actual audio is better?
It sounds crisper, yeah.
Really?
Because if I listen to my song on Spotify, as opposed to like the mix that I uploaded to Spotify, there's a slight difference. And it's not as if...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean... It's not a big difference, but it's like I can
noticeable difference.
Yeah, I can hear it.
If you're like an engineer,
if you had the CD... you would probably hear a better version of it. Or if I upload it to YouTube and you play it off of YouTube, that might even sound better. I don't know. Because it's a streaming service. And I think it's all about the way that they encode things. So I'm not 100% sure how it works exactly. But the whole point is, like, it's about the way that they individually do it. And the thing is, Spotify, let me ask you guys something. How in the world y'all gonna go out here and tell artists, hey, if you pay us an extra, or no, I'm sorry, not this. If you make it so we pay you like a fraction of the amount we were already gonna pay you, which is like half a penny for each play, or like a tenth of a penny, who knows? Very small amount.
Yeah.
So they'll offer you, they'll say, hey, how about we give you half as much, and then in return, we put your songs on these playlists so it's easier to find them, or we'll like recommend your music to people more than other music.
Yeah.
So first of all, have you ever heard of a pay-to-play video game? Because that's exactly what that shit is. You're telling me that I make less money, and the trade-off is that I'm getting my stuff shared with more people. Like, you're already not paying me very much. Like, you guys can't afford it, and now you're saying that if I get paid less, you'll be more apt to share it, which you could already do. You just don't.
Right. Yeah.
So that's in itself, whatever.
I guess this is like all. I guess what you're saying to me is kind of new because like I use a platform called DistroKid, and it sends it to all of them.
Yep, that's what I use.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
I use CD Baby, but I also have DistroKid.
So what you're telling me though is that like Spotify is taking more from the artist than like Tidal is?
It's a promotion. Actually, it's different for each one.
Through distro account, it's all connected or something.
Each one gives you a different amount per stream. Like the payout for YouTube is the lowest. Yeah. It's really low on YouTube. It's like if somebody streams your song on the video that they uploaded, or I don't know if DistroKid does it, but like the content ID thing. If that happens, then you get paid like 0.0016 or some low.
Nothing.
Yeah, but if you have tons of fans, you get millions of views.
Then
then you're gonna get some money.
Yeah, I see.
But like I think I saw Kato, the producer, because he's always posting like media tips and stuff. He posted something where it's like if you wanted to make $1,000 a year off your music streams off Spotify, you'd have to stream. I think it was 33,000. What was the number? It was like you'd have to have 33,000 people, I believe, stream your songs twice a day for a whole year or something like that.
Wow.
And that would make you $100,000. Cut that in half, $50,000. You need about 16,500 people to stream your songs twice a day. Cut that in half again. You want to make $25,000 a year. Now you only need like 8,000 or 9,000 people to stream your songs twice a day. So I feel like if you were trying to make like $25K at least, it's just about getting a dedicated fan base of at least like around 5,000 or 10,000 people.
Yeah, and
streaming.
That's through streaming, right?
Yeah,
and that's what's kind of a lot of people aren't paying attention to is that like a lot of these artists that are like making it, a lot of them have like merch or like different things like that. That's really supporting their music more than anything. You know what I mean? Because like you're saying, these streaming websites take so much of a big pay cut and barely give anything. The artists, they need
CDs
other
are dead.
ways to make money. So
like you can make CDs, but it's like retro at this point.
Yeah, like
funny.
if you're gonna make like a freaking what is those big old freaking
vinyl are cool.
Yeah.
Though. I mean, like, if you make a vinyl, I respect that.
Yeah.
I will shout out Odd Pike, and there's somebody else that's making tapes right now. If you've seen those around.
Cassettes, yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean, like, I respect that because, I mean, it's
different.
It's different, and they're doing it themselves. But, it's just the state that we're in. It's like all streaming, and it's all that. So you have to kind of find. It's like that business advice. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like, it's just the general practice. Like, if I put all my eggs in this one basket where I'm trying to make all my money from music, just making music and just doing features and just using my voice, at some point it will become more difficult. So if I say, hey, I'm making music, but I'm also selling shirts with my name on them, maybe then people would support that. And then if anything goes down, you at least have this second course of revenue.
Yeah.
And there's always that's always a thing too, is you never know what's gonna happen. So
and that's the thing. It's like you're saying, you may need like thousands of people to share your songs to make an actual profit. But with like, if you've probably got like 100 or 200 people buying your merch steadily every time you put it out,
they'll
probably make you just as much.
And if you had that on top of say 5,000 people just streaming your songs a couple times every day,
Right.
or more,
Right.
well then boom, now
There's
you're
more,
actually making money.
Yeah.
And you're an artist making money. So it's like
Yeah.
it is possible, but it's goes back to what we were saying before, cuz it's like I'm an artist. Do I really want to be thinking about all this right now?
Right.
Like, cuz I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about how many people listen to my song
Mm-hmm.
if I want to make money. But I'm not. That takes my attention away.
Well,
and now I'm being Mr. Market Man.
Yeah,
you know.
that's why like people get teams and shit too.
Yeah.
Like and I think that everything has to start with you having money. Like, you know, it takes money to make money essentially. So
Or at least some kind of comfort.
you're gonna need money to pay people to promote your music so that it gets
Yeah.
thousands of plays. You're gonna need people to, you know, you're gonna need money to make the merch. So that people can buy it. You know, there's got to be a startup money to make the merch first. You know what I mean? Unless you work out something to where you get the money first, and then, you know. But it always starts with you need money to freaking make it. So, you know.
Well, I think you need money to make it, but there's always the outliers, and there's always examples of a will. You know, like I was saying, with like, this is an area that I have prepared and I've gotten to this point, but I have went through so much mud to get here.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Like, I have just dragged my feet through all this mud because that's what you do. That's what it is.
Right.
And there's so much of that. So it's like, you know, you could get this promotion and this equipment, and that all helps. But if you don't have that natural push and energy and all that, it gets so much more difficult along the way.
For sure.
You do kind of get this natural frustration where it's like, you don't, like, I'm just even talking about creating, like, if you just kind of lose that ambition.
Right.
Like, it just, you always have to be in touch with that just genuine want of, like, doing it. 'Cause
Right.
that's the fun part, is just getting this out there, and everything else should be just kind of a secondary thing. I forget why I brought that up in the first place exactly. I was
Dude,
making some kind of big old point.
you know, we're both so high right now, dude. Like,
Oh, I always
I literally
I
just-
always speak in these deep. That's just what I do.
bro, I literally just thought in my head, like, I probably said, like, you need to, like, put, like, how many times I've said the word right while you've been talking. Like,
do a
have
compilation
have a
video.
Meter. No, just have a meter. And be like, put, like, the word right underneath my body. Yeah, and then like, every time I say right, just like, ting, like, put another. Bro, because I was like,
The right counter.
as you were talking, I'm like, man, I keep saying right while he's talking, dude. I can't keep doing this.
You know what's funny? Okay, so I've said this about, like, podcasts, is like, it's like conversation training, because you'll sit here and you'll do all this stuff where, like, but you'll start being really conscious of it. You'll start being like, you know, oh wait, I'm over talking right now. I'm saying too much.
Right.
Like, you know, this guy's talking. Or it's like, you know, if you were a podcast host and you came up here and you were, like, you know, talking over the guest the whole time, it gets to a point where it's like, why do you even have the guest here?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
So I feel like it trains this conversational etiquette in a way. It's like,
Yeah.
you kind of, like, have this natural back and forth. And if
Yeah.
if you messed it up, yeah, you can mess it up. But then you'll have people in comments and people that'll see you on the internet, and they'll be
Right.
like, "This guy
Well-
don't even know how he's talking.
Well,
What's he doing here?"
That's what people don't need to understand right now. That, you know, you also get lost in conversation. Like, how many times in a natural,
true.
like, during the day,
That's true.
you're having a conversation with, like, a random person, and then you're like, all right, well, I'll see. I'll have a good day. Like, you know what I mean? Because you're kind of just, like, lost. Like, there's nothing more to be said at the moment or something. Because you know what I mean? Like, you can only talk for so long before, like, something awkward is gonna happen eventually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
like people, like, it's gonna take a
agree.
second to, like, continue the conversation and shit. So,
I agree.
like, people
Well,
can't
and,
be perfect. Like, what do you expect out of us, man? God.
Well, in a way, a lot of the time, you know, I try not to do this, but a lot of the time, people will talk to, like, hear what they have to say. Like they're talking to hear themselves talk, not to participate in a thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like that's the back and forth. But it's also like it's like what you just said. Like, what do you expect of me?
Yeah. Yeah, like you can,
because it's just a natural energy kind of thing.
Yeah, dude. Like, there's been so many times where I just will get like lost in the conversation or something. It's not that I'm not paying attention to what somebody's saying or like what's going on, but you know, like I got shit to do after this. You know what I mean? Once I leave here, so
what I try to do is I try not to make a read. I try not to read too far into what the other person. Like, I just take in what you actually said to me.
Right, that's
and
good.
What that is.
That's
good. Because if I read
skills.
Too far into it, then I'm gonna get all caught up in something. You know what I mean?
And that's why you're a good listener, and that's why you're good to talk to, because you're actually.
I'm listening. I'm actually listening. That's really it. I'm just listening.
Don't you hate talking with people that you can kind of tell they're like, they ain't really listening? Like, it's kind of in one ear, out the other.
It's tiring. You know why it's tiring? Because I'm such a dedicated conversationalist that I'll sit here and I'll spill this all out to you.
So you're so invested, and then they're like giving you that same energy back. You're like, whatever, I'm just gonna keep doing this, and
I'll keep going. I can't help it. And they'll be like scrolling as I'm talking. They'll be scrolling.
I'm different than you in that aspect. See, you're a better person than me in that aspect. Because as soon as I see that person that's not giving a fuck what I'm saying, I'm like, all right, you fuck you.
All right, I'm giving up.
I'm over. I'm done talking. I'll just shut up.
I just got too much faith. I'm like, maybe they'll listen if I just keep going. Maybe they pick up half of it and they're like.
Yeah, I'm a vibes person, like you're saying. Like, if somebody's talking to me, I'm gonna listen to what they're saying.
I don't like
I'm gonna
it
look them in their eyes.
I don't like, because it's harder to connect with somebody when they do that, and that's the part that I don't like. It's like, you don't even realize how much you're inconveniencing me by doing this. Because like now I'm trying to get this energy, but it's like by closing that off, it gets like. You know, and it's fine. You can like do that.
Yeah, everybody's different.
Everybody's different, but it makes it so much harder to like. It's like that whole thing I was saying about how podcasts kind of reinforce that natural conversation thing, because it's like in a genuine long form conversation, you can't just have that like awkward stop and start and stop and start. We kind of like, have we done that at all yet? No, because like that's what a long form conversation is.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like it trains that, because that to me, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It is that. Yeah.
It's just having a focus, and we're moving through topics, and it's like, you don't even have to have bullet points or anything. We just, we're just not flinging shit at the wall.
That's what's kind of cool about it. I feel like it's, in a way, like, it's kind of like a therapy session. Cause
I agree.
You're just kind of like,
and it's recorded, so you can always go back and be like, damn, what I said there, I totally felt that.
Yeah,
I would have forgotten that.
Yeah, probably a year from now, I'm going to be like, man,
I do that. I'll watch some of the podcasts from 3 weeks ago, and I'll be like, oh, wow. Like, well, I wouldn't even think it's stupid. I'll be like, whoa, that was deep, dude. Like, whoa, that was really smart of me.
That'd be cool, yeah.
Because I forgot that I said it. I don't even remember all the. Who remembers everything they say? You know? Nobody does.
You're weird if you do.
You're weird. Oh, man. You're a genius if you do. Give me your brain. I would never have to write my bars down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you're saying, though. Some people
are not conversationalists.
No, introverts.
And it's okay, but like, oh, man. If I had you on the podcast, I'd be like trying my best. I'd just be firing off at you,
trying to pluck it out of you.
I'd be like, please, give me something. Give me something.
Yeah.
Because I'd bring them on, but oh man, they'd be so much more work.
That's what's crazy too, is like some of the most talented people are like low key kind of like that, like just really humble and like.
Yeah, they are.
Introvert.
And you'd be surprised, because in their art, you wouldn't expect it.
Because like you hear their
expression is strong.
You hear their songs and they're like so energetic maybe or something, and then you meet them in person and they're all like shy. You're like, whoa, what the freak? Is this the same person? Or, you're like, I guess that's kind of cool, like, because you know when you get in a booth, it is really a vibe. Like you feel like the energy when you just listen to the music through the headphones. It's almost like. It's like meditating. Like you're not thinking about anything else going on in the world. All you're thinking about is this moment, this song, and that's meditation, bro. If you ask me.
Yeah, I've always thought of it as a form of therapy or meditation, not even like consciously at first, but you know, like that's why I said I don't write things for other people. Because, yeah, sure, I genuinely want you to get your own interpretation of it. And that's what adds value to me. But at the same time, it's like, it's truly therapeutic for me to write something that I can go back and connect to. And I know that those are my words. And that is like something that, you know, I try to always write my songs or my art in a way where it's interpretive to the point where I'm not being on the nose, and I can always go back and look at it and feel a certain type of vibe from it, rather than, you know, like I'm just trying to convey some idea that is interpretive rather than being. And I think that, like, you know, it's I don't know. I really think when it comes to writing stuff and like getting in this zone, you really like for me, I truly think that it's helped me stay in touch with myself throughout my life in a way that I would not have done otherwise. Because, you know, I can listen to the songs I wrote and understand where I was and what I was thinking and how I felt.
That's crazy.
And to me, it's all
You're the only
genuine.
other person I've heard say that. Like, that's actually... Like, I've said that same shit before,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's kind of crazy.
That's truly how I feel, you know?
I said those literally the exact words, yeah. Like, yeah, it's like almost like looking back at a song you did like 2 or 3 years ago, you're like, damn, like that's that mindset that I was in when I wrote that. Like, it's like sometimes you forget, you know?
Yeah, because life, you become, like you change throughout life in such a non-noticeable way, but it happens over time. And so you go back and you look at something that you created years ago and you realize like the differences within yourself even.
Yeah, it's like really...
That you didn't even recognize.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird feeling. Like, yeah, for some reason I sometimes would just kind of like get like I don't know, it's almost like deja vu type of feeling or something when I'm listening to like some of my older music. Yeah. Because it's like, I'm not feeling what I felt like that anymore. Yeah. But when I listen to that song, it takes me right to that place, bro. Yeah. Like, right, like in that mindset, like dark mindset or whatever it was for that song at the time, you know? But
it can only happen if you're being genuine in what you create and you're truly pouring yourself into it, you know? At
that time, it was way more depression in my life and way more...
dude, there's songs I can go back and listen to where I can truly like remember the sadness that I was going through. Like I feel it in my I cry listening to my own song.
Same
other
here,
people
dude.
wouldn't cry because they wouldn't know what's going on.
They don't feel it though. They don't feel it like you feel it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
because like I'm telling you, like there are some of my songs where I'll listen to it. I'm not even expecting it. And I'll just like be like, oh my God. Like all of a sudden everything just comes back and it's like I remember how life just happens and everything moves forward. And, you know, when we're in a moment, we don't realize like exactly what that moment is worth. And I think that's another thing about art that's so valuable is that you're creating something, but you never know the true value of what you have created. You never know. Like at first glance, it's one thing. Right. But like so many different things can come of that one thing that adds value to that piece of art. Yeah. So it you know, it's truly invaluable. Yeah. And that's kind of why like I totally understand what you're saying. You know, when you say I don't care if I get success. I mean, I do totally understand. When you say I don't care if I get success and all this, because it's not about that. It's about the invaluable, you know, nature of the whole creation itself.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like I would want success, but it's more so like on a money standpoint to help like my family and friends, people around me.
Exactly. Well,
when I
for
think
me,
about
it's about
success,
comfort. I just want to live comfortably. That's
it. Yeah, exactly. Like I don't care to have a big old mansion or any, you know, to be flashy in any kind of way. I just would like for the people around me to be living, like you're saying, comfortable. You know what I mean? And I feel
to be able to offer that to them.
That's really not asking for much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know, dude. Like, I feel like that's why people like us, you know, like maybe it's not right, like for me to have lots of money because I would do so much good for the fucking world. You know what I mean? And, like, I would like for the people around me and shit. Like, someone's not like, I don't know.
No, man, you'd be better off just buying a chain.
Yeah, fuck off, dude. we're gonna get a bunch of people commenting on this shit now.
You just need to buy like 3 gold chains, bro. Then
Bro,
you're golden.
About that, let's talk about that shit real quick.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah, I
Let's
do.
talk about
Because like, low key, people think that like I was taking shots at people, bro. Like,
I didn't like that. That's kind of what I was trying to say.
You can look up my song Keyblaze I put out like months ago, bro. Like I say in that song, I say, what do I say here? I said, I don't give a fuck about a watch. Have it good for the people around me. I don't give a fuck what I got. All right. So when I say that, and I actually keep on saying more shit about, I say all this material need to stop. You're not the only one from the block. But I keep on going from it because like people like they use it as an excuse because they're from the block or from hard times to be materialistic, but like and flashy because that's like cool. But I think it's way cooler to put people on, bro. You know what I mean? That like that does you know that are your boys that are struggling and they fucking would like. If you fucking put them onto some kind of business or something and they're like reliable and they got good character, and you hook them up with something like that and change their life, like wouldn't that be such a more honorable thing than like getting a flashy chain or like?
I agree.
You know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying to say, and like that's what I was trying to say in Keyblaze too, because I look at like what our generation thinks is cool, bro. And, like,
Keyblaze, that was the Kingdom Hearts beat song.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. But like what I'm saying is like I look at what our generation thinks is cool and like I feel like alone in the way I feel because I feel like the shit that I think is cool is like way different than what everybody my age thinks is cool. Like I don't think it's cool to have flashy shit and to be materialistic. I think, like I said, it'd be cooler to me to put your people on that fucking with that same amount of money that you just spent on a 6-figure chain. Like go fucking put that on your boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think the shame is this.
Well, they ain't taking shots at nobody. That's
Exactly.
that's my opinion.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, you don't gotta like it. You know what I mean? But that's freedom of fucking speech, and that's you're living in a country where that's what the fuck we do here. So
we try. Okay, so this is my thing. Is like, it's just strange how people can frame things in such a way. That's kind of my take. Is like, I get how you could get a read. You could see that, and you could say, well, you know, we're all struggling out here. You really expect everybody to just, the first time they get a little bit of money, to just give it away. But see, the thing is, that is such a negative way to interpret what you said.
Right.
Because what you were trying to say, what I was saying to you earlier about intent. Like, when I hear someone talk, I try to think about the intent behind what they're saying rather than the actual content. Because, you know, when you say that, when you respond with something like that, what you're actually doing is you're putting your own ideas on top of what they said, and you don't even realize you're doing it. Like, what your intent was, and I'm pretty sure I'm right, was that it's, like you said, more honorable to just do the other thing. You're not telling people either which way. You're not saying you're a bad person if you do this. You're saying, wouldn't it be better if you just spent that money towards your family or your friends or somebody that could use it rather than buying something materialistic?
Yes.
And is that a sentiment that is so offensive? Is it? Because if that's offensive, then to me, I'm confused as to what's going on. And so, like, that's why I get so confused about this stuff, because it's like the tone just gets so misinterpreted. And I think it's like the shame of trying to communicate through these social media platforms.
It is, bro. Social media is
the way you just said
bro.
it, if someone heard you say it like that, we would probably have a totally different conversation.
We had never had 50 motherfuckers blowing up my Facebook. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And it wouldn't have been some stupid thing
Yeah.
where it's like we're literally creating drama out of nothing. Because what you're saying is not trying. You're not creating adversity. You're not shaming anyone. You're saying, hey, wouldn't it be better if we just did this? And the other person could go, no. I would think it'd be better if I support myself. And then we're fine. We had a conversation.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to get mad.
Yeah.
We don't got to get mad at anybody.
Exactly.
We don't got to get mad and say somebody's hating. Nobody's hating here.
Yeah.
Like, it's not hate. It's just genuine conversation. Like, we're just trying to talk about things.
Yeah.
I just think it's strange how stuff on social media in general, I find that it's like, because I feel the same way as you, dude. Like, I find it to be tiring because I don't feel as if my opinions or the way I feel about things are truly controversial or or like I'm being negative.
Right.
I genuinely don't feel that way. I'm just trying to have a conversation. I think like when we can actually talk, we should talk, and it's fun to have a conversation. And so I just think it's so strange the way tone can be misinterpreted, and it gets to the point where I would rather just put this stuff in a medium like this or a medium like video content or music, rather than waste my time trying to talk to people where they're not even understanding. We're not speaking on the same basis. Like we're on two different planets right now because we're both on freaking Facebook.
Yeah.
I hate it, dude, because it actually sucks. Like it's a terrible way to communicate with one another.
Yeah, it's just some like phones in general. Just so much gets lost in translation. Like,
nobody saw this coming
through a text or
because 10 years ago it wasn't this bad. 5 years ago it wasn't this bad. It's worse now. I totally believe that. I really do. I think people. And maybe it's just, the environment I'm in and the way that things are, but I just truly feel that, like, the way that people respond to things nowadays is very different, the climate, and it's strange because, I think of myself as a very open-minded person. I'm generally very open to just hearing what people have to say and having a conversation.
Right.
And it seems like so much of that is lost nowadays. It's very much just one-sided things, and that's what art is to me. It's presenting this different side of things in a way that people can understand.
Yeah.
And it scares me as an artist because it's like if we really truly start limiting these things, what if I'm trying to express something through a medium where I am being controversial in my message? Like I'm being supportive, but I'm trying to express something that's controversial.
Yes.
Like
nobody's gonna know.
Nobody's gonna know. Or what if it's interpreted the wrong way? And now it's getting censored or something like that. I think that's what scares me as an artist, is we're moving towards this direction where you shouldn't be saying, like, what if I'm making a song where I'm being like hyper conservative, making some stupid right-wing comments as a joke, but like that's not allowed on Spotify now.
Right.
You can't have stuff like that on there. And maybe it's not, maybe it shouldn't be there, but it's like, to me, what if I'm doing it as a joke and it's satire?
Yeah.
And now we're in this territory where we can't even go there.
We can't joke anymore. Yeah.
Or at least we're hesitant to do it.
Or hesitant. You're watching that's like you're saying as being an artist, that's something like you have to watch out for now. Is like
even a rapper.
Like, a rapper, anybody, like a band, anybody. You have to watch what you're saying.
Yep.
At all times, especially on social media.
Yeah.
Because there's like the cancel culture stuff now, and like.
I hate the term because it sounds cheesy, but it really is.
Yeah, it's what it is. You know what I mean? And even before this stuff was big, there were still people, dissecting every little word you say.
Yeah.
And, it's like you said, a lot of these words that people say, they don't have the intent behind them that like the people think they are, and like. You can lose a whole bunch of fan base just because you said the wrong word, you know what I mean? And
I think a lot of this happens where this misinterpretation will become the reality if it's represented that way. So if I say something and I didn't mean it like that, but it's presented that way, especially by media, we all just fall into this thing. And social media just makes it worse. You see an article title, half the time people don't open the article, they'll just read the title. And half the time you open the article and it's just some stupid headline that's not actually describing what happened.
Not even real news.
Exactly. And like then they wonder why people don't trust news. Mm-hmm. So it's just crazy to me. Like there's so much like anti whatever this is, and it's just going to make people more and more crazy. They're going to trust this stuff even less. Like I genuinely, because like I said, I look at intent. When I see people that are like affected by social media in such a way, I feel bad for them because it's like you don't even realize how much it's influencing your everyday life. Like life is waking up and just going outside and going for a walk and breathing and feeling your skin and having friends and family and having connections and feeling feelings.
Yeah.
It is not getting likes on the internet and posting things and thinking about all of these metrics. And when you start doing that all the time, your brain becomes a different machine.
Yeah, you're just losing touch of like reality. Really.
Yeah,
like,
and it's. I mean, I hate to see it because I think life is such a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
And we all truly just need to be in touch with ourselves first. And if we spend all of this time and energy on these platforms, and that's why I'm trying to back away from it a little bit.
This is my question. Like, why, like, what is the purpose? Like, I feel like I'm always looking into shit, like, with a deeper meaning. You know? I'm always trying to, like play devil's advocate, whatever you want to call it. So, like,
for sure.
I feel like there's a bigger purpose to all this shit. Like you're saying, like, it's distracting people away from just stopping and breathing the fresh fucking air.
Yeah.
Like, how many times do people don't even look up at the stars anymore and stuff? You know what I mean? Like, on the average basis, you got your head down looking at your phone. You ain't looking. You're not looking up. You know what I mean? So it's like we don't just take time to appreciate this life, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it'd probably be scary if we saw how much fucking days and hours we spent on our phones just
there was
looking at
that
it,
documentary just recently, The Social Dilemma. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
but I did watch the Joe Rogan podcast with the guy who was
like
involved.
the first, like a little bit of the first episode. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and that was kind of the idea. It's like
it's crazy shit on there. The facts that they have.
Well, because what they're talking about is they're saying, if you are not paying for a product, you are the product. So think about it. Yeah. We're going on Facebook. We're going on YouTube. What they're really competing for is our attention. They want to keep us on there. Like, why does the algorithm work the way it does? Because if I continue to see controversial stuff, if I continue to see this image that we're all arguing or we're all not getting along, or at least, because that's genuine, that's usually, generally what gets engagement. So if that's the image I'm presented, eventually I'll believe it. For one thing, but for the other thing, it keeps me on there because it's more interesting than the reality. And the reality is this. We're just sitting here having a long-form conversation. We're not jumping from thing to thing to thing like statuses do. Like, it's just constant stimulation. And so I think that all that stuff really adds up, and especially over time if you don't keep it in check. And the point is, they don't care. They don't actually care when it comes to, hey, is there a moral, like, dilemma when it comes to keeping people? Like, is that really what we should be doing?
Right.
Or should we just, like, keep them on for a little bit, give them a break? Like, should we encourage that? They don't encourage that at all. They want you to stay on all day, every 24 hours, be on YouTube watching freaking gaming videos.
Bro, they're not going to make money if they encourage that, bro. They wouldn't make no fucking money.
And it's that consumerist mentality that makes it so toxic, because we get to the point where now we are literally changing society as we know it in front of our own eyes with these things. Like, they are monoliths of our society. It's not just a matter of, like, these guys just have a little bit of influence. No. When Facebook and Google make a decision, that affects all of us. Every single person that uses that platform is affected by it. So it's scary to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. It's like, we're living in a crazy world right now. That's I kind of wish I, like, lived back in, like, the fucking 1930s
I say that
or 1940s.
Too, but, like, was it really better? I bet there were other problems that were...
Oh, definitely other problems, more sicknesses, or whatever you want to say, but, like, I feel like life was more simple back then. Like, people weren't on their phones. People weren't on
I'll take, like, the
TV
60s.
all the time.
Take me back to, like, the 60s, 70s.
Okay, yeah.
Please.
Even anywhere in that.
In that little spiritual enlightenment era when everybody was just chill. I want that. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Even though there's a war going on, like, I'll take that over this.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like.
Because, dude, these mofos going crazy, wild nowadays. They going hog wild out here.
Dude, they're going hog nasty.
And I don't blame them. I'm just saying, like, I'm just chilling making music in my bedroom, and, you know, that's kind of been the vibe from day one. So I'm kind of getting, like, lost in the sauce when I go on the internet too much. I got to just turn it off and just stay away. And the whole point I'm making, and the whole reason I even say all this is because the whole reason I'm so passionate about it is because I genuinely think that our society itself is being, like, affected by this. Like, it's not just a matter of, like, me saying, like, this. It truly seems like the way we talk about politics, the way we engage with one another, at least on social media, like, it's gotten so much more hostile and so much more aggressive and so much more, like, you versus me, rather than just this sense of, like, we're just
understanding
chilling
each
and we're just
other.
talking to one another.
Yeah.
And I think that's what
Yep.
social media does to you when you use it for 10 years straight.
Yeah.
Like, this is a social experiment we've never had before.
It gives you a sense that like your opinion actually matters, and you know what I mean.
It's a false platform. Is what it is.
Yeah, it's like you got like I think like people who are like a lot of these older motherfuckers, they probably shouldn't even have a social media, bro, because they'll get on there and say some of the most stupid shit, bro, and you're just like,
the boomer Facebook.
yeah, bro.
Oh,
you're
dude,
just
no,
like,
that's the funniest. That's the funniest stuff.
like you'll
That's
hear
the
them
funniest.
say like,
They'll share the worst,
you're an
most
idiot
like.
if you smoke weed or something. I'm like, dude, you shouldn't even be on here.
That's
dude.
why I don't delete them though, because I'll keep seeing that stuff. I'll be like, oh my god, this is the worst.
Yeah, I'm
but
like,
it's like that's what old people Facebook becomes. It's like you just share like the most ridiculous stuff, and that's what Facebook is to you.
yeah,
It's like, oh yeah, that's right.
yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, you got the old people, yeah, that are just like sharing a bunch of like
The most ridiculous
racist
stuff.
shit.
Like it's like it'll be like an eagle wearing a MAGA hat.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's like, dude, yeah.
And it's like, praise Trump.
Dude, there's
2024.
oh my god, I want to shoot myself in
And
the
like
face.
you see it, and it's like, okay, this is a real person. These are real people.
And that's when I get off of Facebook, because
And that's
after
when
I
you
see
get
that,
off of Facebook.
right after I see that, that's when
Oh
I'm
my
off of it.
god, dude. And that's like the real question. And I just don't believe it. Like, that's why I say all this too, is like, I don't believe it if you told me these people would act the same exact way if these platforms didn't exist. Like, they would never, ever, ever, ever see that eagle wearing the MAGA hat, and they would never, ever think of sharing it.
Right. Yeah, dude.
It creates this thing where it's like, oh, all right. It's like this mob thing where we all just... Because the other thing is Facebook, it's so weird. Like, I've noticed this. If I had that same conversation where we're having an argument on my profile, generally it goes pretty well. But if we have it on another profile, it doesn't go as well, because it's like that's a friend group and I'm in their friend group commenting on their stuff. It's like this weird idea, like we're on a social media, like we're all friends here. You're the one who posted it on social media. It's almost like it's an open medium or something.
Yeah.
It's very weird how that works, because like I don't think it makes a difference either way. Like if I were to say something to you or if you were to say something to me, we're both just initiating conversation. Like, it's strange how that dynamic even comes about. But then again, it's another one of those things where it's like, it's not a real conversation, and it's not even a real platform. It's just this thing where we get convinced that it actually is this thing where all of our friends do agree with us, because we are right, and we know.
Yeah.
Because we don't know shit. None of us know anything, dude. I don't know anything. I will proudly tell you, I don't know anything at all.
Me either. Anybody watching, we both are jackasses and don't know
The smartest
shit.
people in the world are the people who will tell you they're stupid. That is something I have learned.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing. Like, if you know me, you know that, like, I'm somebody who is not afraid to admit where I'm wrong and where I can grow and how stupid I've been in my past or how stupid I am right fucking now. You know what I mean? Like,
because life
I'm
is
not-
a growing process. It's all about evolution.
Yeah. And if I feel like the more that you're aware to all that shit and the more you embrace it, the more you realize where you're, where you're not
You become
good.
more in touch with yourself, I think,
Yeah.
because you realize, like, it's like that thing about, like, I think that's why I said all that stuff about music and helping me stay in touch with, like, my spirit, because it really helps you genuinely understand where you're at, even in a way.
Yeah.
Like, kind of where your head is at. When you made a song 2 days ago and you listen to it and you're like, that's what you are right now.
Yeah.
That song is, like, what you were feeling. For me, the other thing is I'm never putting half of myself into it. It's always everything that is in that moment. And so... it's just interesting how time goes about that way, and you really do evolve over time, and that's what life is. Like, you can't be stagnant or static, because if you become static, you become something that doesn't recognize its own flaws.
Yeah.
It's so hard if you're not trying to look within yourself to actively change anything. Like I commented on Facebook just the other day because somebody posted something, and I said, like, true change requires true reflection.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a good way to put it.
Well, the thing is too, like, a lot of people like can get to the point where they're reflecting really good too, but like they believe in that reflection so much, but they're still changing as they're believing in that reflection. So like sometimes you gotta keep you just gotta keep on opening your mind. Like I'm growing, because if you get like too focused on like, oh, this is who I am right now, like you don't even realize that you're changing as you're saying that. You know what I mean? So like sometimes we think we got ourselves figured out, and then life hits us like that. You know what I mean? And you learn a new fucking lesson, and that's what I figure out. Like, or somebody may speak something to you that like has been in places you haven't been before in life, and you know it speaks out to you when you grow from them saying that. Like, there's just, I don't know, you're always gonna keep growing. So I feel like to a certain extent you shouldn't even try to act like you got yourself figured out, even though you can feel out your tendencies and whatnot. But you're gonna be different 5 years from now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you grow and you know what I mean?
Well, I think it's like a matter of self-deprecation or self-humiliation or whatever you want to call it. It's like I can look at myself 2 hours ago or something I posted on Facebook yesterday or whatever I did, and I can say that was dumb.
Yeah,
because like
all
that's
the
the other
time.
thing about social media is it makes you think this stuff's permanent, and it's not. Like we are changing things, and so if I do something that I disagree with, whatever, it was dumb, I disagree with it, and then we move on.
Yeah.
That's what people are.
Yeah, and I'm not even,
But what I was going to say is
I can't even be a hypocrite with like this shit, because like I have been like the dude who thought that my opinion mattered.
Me too.
And said
I've been the same
and
guy.
said some stupid shit like you're saying, and then like tomorrow I'm like, man, why not even say that? But I'm a human, bro, and then like I said, I will admit my flaws and where I can be better.
I think it's fun.
You know what I mean?
It's honest. It's being honest. Because if we just sat here and we said that we are perfect and we don't have any flaws, that sure, we'd look a little cooler.
Yeah.
But is that truly like what is the human thing? Like, it's not. Everybody is flawed, and there's comfort in knowing that.
Yeah, but it's like you're saying, like that's not the right platform to express that. Like
it's not.
You have to come onto something like this to where people are like people can get your vibe, like, and see how you're talking, and you know just feel you out, because like when you're saying something over social media, there's so much gets lost in translation, bro. So it's just, you know. This is the way to do it with this podcast. I think this is the wave. Or
just like because I like the interviews I did before were a good way to do it. But I truly think that this is it's the same vein of creation, you know? It's the same idea where we're both here and we're both... Did you need a third water?
Dude.
Did you need it?
I think my weenie head's going to fall off if I drink another freaking water.
Do you have to pee?
Yeah, dude.
You can pee.
All right, I'm going to piss my pants.
Because I got to pee as well, so we'll take turns. And I'll talk by myself, and then you'll talk by yourself, and we'll see what we say. All right, so let me see. Let me see what I can do for you guys. Oh, man. It's funny because I've been holding it in. I got to pee. So I'm going to hold it in a little bit longer, you guys. Let's think. Samalama Doomalama. Let's start with that. How about that? The Ruse stew is really coming together. Oh, man. See, now I'm thinking about I have to pee. We shouldn't even talk about that, should we? We should just forget about that. Hopefully he goes fast so we don't have to think about that. Because now I'm thinking about it. We drink a lot of coffee, boys and girls. And that's the thing about coffee is it'll make you have to pee. It'll, as you said, it'll make you feel like your weenie head is about to fall off. He's not wrong. See, now I'm thinking about it. If you're watching the video, I'm rocking back and forth a little bit because I have to pee. I hope you feel what I'm feeling right now because I'm trying to describe it accurately. I'm stuttering. I'm stuttering now. This is not good. Guys. I'm gonna try to freestyle about this. Yo, what's up, man? Y'all have to see if you're watching this on video. You tell I have to pee. Yo. Yes, this is how it been. You're in Ruse stew. This the best. Yeah, bro. This is dopeness. Yeah, my pee is really potent because I really gotta pee. I got some coffee. Hope you notice. Oh yeah. I'm leaving because now he's back. Yeah, I had to do it. To him. All right, I'm going pee, boy. I'm going pee.
Freestyle about pee, bro.
I was doing it.
What a G. Freestyle about pee. You should have got Lapeen on this beat. But this ain't a beat. It's acapella. Chilling with my fellas. Okay, I'm done. But yeah, dude. I had to pee so bad. And I don't know if you guys ever been through this, but sometimes you got pee so bad. You pee, but then you're like, another like 15 minutes later, you would pee it again. Like, you didn't get all the pee out. How is that? I don't even get it. But yeah, I drank I drank 2 of these coffees out of this freaking little jug. It was filled pretty high too. He had that white girl creamer in it, so them boys were good. But I also drank 2 waters, so I swear I was holding that in for so long. It was like I felt like Dumb and Dumber when he's peeing in the bottles. I was like a camel in there just pissing just now. But enough of the pee-pee talk.
Enough of that pee-pee talk, boys and girls. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Yes.
The other thing was, when you left,
Yeah.
I was thinking about pee, and it made, I was holding that in the back of my brain for a while.
Yeah.
And then you said it out loud.
Dude,
and it made me really have to pee.
I just feel like if I would have drank another liquid, I probably would have pissed my pants, honestly. But
It's the coffee.
Here,
it's the coffee.
can you pour some of this in
You
here?
can just take the water.
Okay.
Take the water. I'll survive. I'll find another water.
Dude,
somewhere out in the forest.
For some reason, talking just makes my mouth get the cotton mouth. I mean, it's probably from smoking too.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
One or the other. Yeah, before this, we smoked a whole bunch of oregano. I just grabbed it from the cabinet and we rolled it up.
Shit was good as fuck.
Dude, bro. Y'all don't even know, bro. You mixed that with a little bit of nutmeg, bro. A little bit of nutmeg, bro. You put that in a sandwich.
I'm so high, bro.
I'm so high, bro. I'm so high. Don't tell my mama.
Nah, I was just thinking that I should go grab my weed and roll up another blunt, but we'll get that in later.
We'll get that in later.
Yeah, just for everybody knowing here, my dad does have a CBD business out in Bertrand off of the Bertrand exit. If you do need any CBD needs, hit him up. He can help you out. He's got a big CBD/hemp mall. So I know we're talking about the THC over here, but a lot of people are getting into the CBD nowadays.
Yeah, CBD is actually, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's good for muscle relief. People say it helps them fall asleep.
Yep, anxiety.
It's a good relaxant, yeah, for anxiety, all that stuff.
Yep. It's
because it's my mom told me that it's with CBD, the difference is if you just take CBD alone rather than smoking marijuana, even if it was potent with CBD,
right.
The way that it binds to your receptors, if you have them at the same time, it's not the same.
No, it's not. She's right about that.
Yeah, but if you had CBD alone, especially more potent, a decent amount,
yep,
it would be very effective.
Yeah, and if you're just using CBD, over mixing both of them, you're gonna feel different effects, and
for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool thing because it's it's not psychoactive, so it doesn't get you high, but you can actually smoke weed form CBD. My dad has actual CBD weed flower in there,
right?
You can purchase, and yeah, I mean it does have minuscule amounts of THC. It's 0.03% of THC, but this is something that would not show up on a drug test, or anything like that. Yeah.
Oh. Because, yeah, I actually, that's interesting because my mom's CBD things that I can't remember if she had them for her or another individual, but it's on them it said no THC, 0% THC. I thought that was just a gimmicky thing. They were just doing that just in case you were worried about it. I didn't know that was actually something that happens in CBD.
Oh, yeah, people have they're people getting genetics and stuff like that, and they figured out a way to freaking have every kind of flavor, every kind of potency, CBD to THC ratio, different stuff like that. There's scientists that have been in there, doing this shit for a minute now. So there's lots of
CBD science.
CBD science.
When you said something CBD something earlier, I wanted to say it 5 times fast. You said it something that was hard
fun to say fast. CBD.
Oh, wow. CBD. Oh, boy, that was 5.
Yeah.
That was 5.
That's what's up, dude.
That was hard because I just went for it. I thought I was gonna mess up.
Yeah, no, but yeah.
That sounds like a freaking lawnmower. Zippity. It's messed up.
Zippity. Yeah.
Bro, your phone, it's on vibrate and it will not stop coming up.
Yeah.
Zippity.
Right.
Turn that thing off, dude.
Shit, dude. Yeah.
That sounds like a bug.
I actually, what's cool about CBD that a lot of people don't know about too is that you could like be like super high on THC. Like say you ate some edibles or some shit and
Yeah.
you're just retarded. Well, you smoke some CBD or do a little whatever tincture or whatever it is. It'll actually mellow. It'll bring you back, like sober you up.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
CBD like counteracts the THC. So yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
No.
So they're like, if they're smoking some weed that's like 2-to-1 CBD ratio, they're like, I'm not feeling high, and it's like, yeah, because there's CBD in it, dude, and it's canceling the high.
They'll be like, this stuff's bunk.
Yeah, right.
Bunk
Yeah.
right here.
But
Stuff's
you
not
do feel
good.
like even like the CBD, but like you feel something, bro. Like it's
Yeah.
not just like you're not feeling like it's some kind of effect that you're feeling because you don't feel normal, but it's like a relaxation effect. I don't know how to describe it. It's like I really don't know how to describe it, bro. It's like you're normal. You're still conscious, and there's no things that are throwing. Like you're not hallucinating or nothing weird like that. You just like you still feel like some kind of effect.
Well, it's probably similar to the effect of something like caffeine or something like even chocolate. You can, if you had dark chocolate, like with a lot of cacao in it, that will straight up give you a rush. That is from the chocolate itself. Like a lot of people don't know that dark chocolate, especially like high in cacao, it's a drug. It makes you feel happier. That's why dark chocolate is like that way more than light chocolate.
Yeah.
But like people, it's like people think of, it's just strange that people would even classify something like CBD. Like you think of it as more of a drug than something like caffeine, when it's really not. They're the same. It's the same thing, really. Like even what you're describing, the effects. It's not an hallucinogen by any means. It's more of just something on top of like reality that's kind of making you feel some type of way. Yeah,
I just think it's kind of weird that like our government has like tried to keep this so hush hush when it does so much good. Like why is this?
They would never.
Why was this plant even like illegal to begin with? Like does nobody even really ask that question or like really looks into why is it legal to begin with? People,
well, because it was bad.
You know what I mean?
Because it was bad. Because dude, it was reefer madness.
Right? Yeah.
Reefer madness.
It was sex orgies and fucking doing crazy.
Yeah, man.
That's what those articles were actually saying back then, dude. That's crazy. Like.
Well,
I can't believe it.
Do you really think that weed doesn't make people crazy? You really think that, dude? I've seen my good friends start smoking the reefer. Okay, and 2 weeks later, different people from the day they started.
They're shooting up heroin now. It's the gateway.
Yeah, it's true. And you know what? It's just sad to see, my friends. So anybody who ever goes near the devil's lettuce, I say stay away from that stuff. It's bad.
That's something that that does really grind my gears because, like, I've just always smoked weed and that's always been enough for me. Like, I will admit I'm like kind of like addicted to the shit because like I just love it so much. Like, it helps me out with so much. It helps me get through the day. There's just so many different things it helps with, and well, God, I forgot where I was going with this.
Well, you said something about how you don't like the gateway drug thing. That's where you're going with it.
Thank you, buddy.
No problem.
So, I don't like the gateway drug thing because, like, bro, like, I don't, like, see my mom, like, take pills growing up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was brought straight to the trap houses with her, like, running up in this place, trying to, like, find where's my mom and shit, you know what I mean? So, like, stuff like that had an effect on me to where, like, I think, it just made me just want to just, not really do drugs to begin with, but I have experimented, you know what I mean? And I've, like, experimented with different shit, and I'm not against that. I think that everybody should experiment shit and see how they react, and, you know what I mean? There's lessons to be learned, but do it in, like, the right ways. Like, do your research and look up the right ways to do these things, and, I think that's the way to go about it, but I don't think that you should get addicted to fucking anything, really. Like, I kind of beat myself up for even smoking weed as much as I do just because I feel like I could, do it more in moderation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that a lot of the time what will happen is we'll call weed a gateway drug, and what's really happening is these people were probably just more apt to do drugs.
Yeah.
Not just weed. So it's like we blame weed.
There's just so many different scenarios, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
There could have been a
Like,
peer
are we
pressure
really
thing.
saying life is this simple?
Right.
Because it's not.
Yeah.
And nothing's that simple. And the thing is, when you because this is the other big part of it. I mean, you said it yourself. Why is it that these things are still illegal?
Right.
I wonder.
Yeah.
Does the government make any money out of all these people that they create criminals, out of, when they're calling this, they have this war on crime? You know what's funny? Or war on drugs, I apologize.
Yeah.
I read today on Facebook, because they just passed this thing about the Senate now, or the House. I don't know if you saw it. Like, it's like a marijuana legislation thing where they're trying to legalize it nationally.
Yeah.
Which is cool. That's good. But in the article, it said...
Decriminalize it.
Yeah. I don't know if it was a politician or who. I can't remember. But the person said, the only thing we learned from the war on drugs is that the drugs won. Oh, that's all you learned?
Yeah.
Like, that's all you got from that? Because there are literally people who are in prison right now for minor marijuana offenses. And
Yeah.
you're telling me that what we learned is that the drugs won. Really, it sounds like the feds won right there.
Right.
Sounds like the feds beat whoever that local guy was, just trying to make a little bit of money because everything is stacked up against him. It's just frustrating because it's like, what drives these people to even do these things? And then a lot of the time, it's not the guy who's manufacturing it, putting like ketamine in everything. It's the guy who gets it from that guy who's just trying to make a living. But the guy who's the pusher is the guy who'll get in trouble. And the people who are really in control of all this stuff either are working with, like, the government will either make money off this type of thing.
Yeah.
Or it's just like, because, I don't even know how it actually works, but I do know that there's a whole thing about drugs that get shipped into the country. That's a whole other side of things.
And there's a lot
but the government has stuff to do with it, is what we know.
The controversy, and like,
so to me, it's just, when we talk about it, it's like, what are we prosecuting people and saying that these people who do drugs are actually bad people for their personal decisions that they made completely non-reflective of whatever you think they are? Like, this person just made a decision, and that's their decision, and be it wrong or right. Did they deserve to be in jail or prison for it? And is that treatment? Are we helping them?
Right.
Are you helping someone? Because I'm talking about users even. Like, when it comes to people who sell, like I said, a lot of the time there's like so many pawns that you'll have so many people swept under the rug just by doing something like that. And who is it that sells that stuff? The poor communities, the black communities, the communities that are already suffering, just continue to get more and more down in this pit. Yeah. And then we say, how does this keep happening? Right. Well, maybe because you arrest them for having like 5 ounces of weed in their car. Maybe that is one reason. It's just sad, man, because there's I just don't think it's a true way to help anyone. Like, you're actually hurting the person who's the user if you do that. If you actually think they have a problem, you're making their life worse. And that'll push them to use more in the end, because now they're getting punished that they probably don't agree with their punishment. They probably think it's wrong. And so it's like when your mom or dad, when you're a kid, and they punish you, but you know what you did wasn't wrong. So you're just like fuck you. Yeah. I know I'm right. And it just makes you have this resentment. Yeah. And it just makes things worse. It's like punishment versus rehabilitation versus punishment, or whatever it is. You could either rehabilitate someone or you can punish them. Yeah. And honestly, it's just sad, because when I see people who are addicted to drugs, I don't see people who are criminals ever. I see people who are they're either that's just what they're going through, and that's what it is for them. It's just life is this moving thing, and no one is the same. And maybe they just need guidance. Maybe you could say the thing that could help them. Maybe you couldn't. Maybe it's not your place. But that's the thing, is we're all moving through our own lives. And when you start telling people this is not your choice, this is not your decision, we decide for you, you're a criminal if you do this. It's just so disheartening to the user and the person who's really struggling.
Yeah.
Because then they're never going to get the help they really need. From people who should be there to help. They should be there for them.
Yeah.
And you know, but yeah, I mean, is the government here for us?
No.
Are they here for us?
That's yeah. You just touched on a big topic. You know what I mean? Like with the drugs, like.
That's just one example.
That's just one example, and like I think like my personal opinion with them like hiding certain drugs from us is because it is like it does a lot of good for us, and like, I don't know like what kind of force is ruling this earth, or if it's any kind of force, or if it's just people are just fucking evil, or what the hell it is, but like I don't understand why somebody wouldn't want what's good.
I agree.
To exist, you know what I mean? Especially something that's grown naturally from this earth, you know what I mean? Or something like that. I can understand like a chemical thing made in a lab, but like to me, like when I've taken like shrooms or I've smoked weed, it was opening my mind, you know what I mean? Like to different thoughts I never thought before, you know what I mean? I don't, for some reason, I don't think that like they don't want us thinking like shit like out of the norm and out of the box thoughts, and like they want us to keep us in line, you know what I mean? And they don't want people to be thinking deep shit, because then we solve the whole fucking dilemma, you know what I mean? Once we start thinking, oh shit, I don't like how my whole life has been and how these fuckers have like just brainwashed us, you know what I mean? They don't want you thinking shit like that.
I'm always hesitant to use that word because people get offended when you say brainwashed. But
really,
isn't it accurate?
Isn't
it accurate?
I mean,
because what are we talking about when we say Democrat, Republican, blah, blah, blah?
I don't even know, bro, because I don't give a fuck about politics. But
well,
like,
what it is it's the rhetoric that they feed you. The media feeds you, or politicians will feed you. Like, when people are talking this stuff a lot of the time, they say Fox News talking points or MSNBC talking points.
Right.
Like, it's hard to find people. Like, that's why you need independent news media to really thrive, because corporate media will brainwash you. Literally. It's corporate media. It's in the name.
Yeah.
It's paid for.
Yeah.
And why would they say anything out of line? They wouldn't. So you have to look online. And the thing is, you'll get these people who sway way too far to one direction, but at least they're being honest and genuine with you. And you know, there's such a big disconnect because of all of that, because I know you guys would lie to me. I know you would lie to me. It's not like I've gotten this crazy idea out of the blue, like I'm a tinfoil hat guy. I've seen you lie to me. People act like Donald Trump is this outlier and he's this crazy thing that's never existed before. No, he's just a natural result of a government that constantly lies to you. And I don't like Donald Trump. I really don't. I don't agree with the way he goes about things. I mean, I may agree with some of the things he does. I disagree with most of it and his attitude. But the thing is, what he represents to a lot of people is the opposite of those lies.
Yes.
And like,
that's why
a
lot of people fuck with him because of that.
Exactly. And people act like, oh, if you like Donald Trump, if you like anything on the right, you're racist or this. And it's so hard to even have a conversation at that point. Because the real thing is, we shouldn't be talking left, right. We should be talking like, how do we get out of this crazy dilemma that we're in, where we actually just frame everything like we gotta have this crap or this crap, and it's both crap, but you guys just gotta pick one, because
we should.
Like, nobody liked Joe Biden. It's just a fact. And the people who did like Joe Biden are, I don't want to use the B word, but it really pushes you in a certain direction when the way they talk about things.
I think that we've had just a shit hand when it comes to the presidents that we've been chosen with, but. Like, I agree with you.
Let's go back to war in Iran, dude. Let's go bomb some more countries with little kids. Let's go do it.
Fuck that, too.
Obama did it.
Yeah.
Donald Trump did it.
Right.
Let's have Joe Biden do it.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
I mean, I just don't want him in there because he's a fucking pedophile, little weirdo, touching little girls and shit. Like,
but he's so upfront and honest about everything. He's such a straight up guy.
Yeah,
Joe
whatever.
Biden. I know everything that he's thinking because he's so straight up and honest.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. See, like, and that's the thing with both of them. And this is why, like, I don't even really like to get into politics and shit, because, like, nobody's in the right, or nobody. I mean, they might be right about certain things, but nobody is like perfect, and everybody's like like Donald Trump has said some like racist shit, whether he meant to make it sound racist or not. You know, and taking people away from their families. People would take that whole thing and run with it. You know what I mean? So like, there's like good and bad for both of them. You know what I mean, the other dude's a fucking pedophile, and so it's just like.
Not only that, dude, Joe Biden, the whole thing I was saying about the drugs and people getting arrested for drugs, who signed that drug bill? Who went on a stage and said the only, like, I can't remember the exact quote, but this is the Joe Biden quote. It's like almost exact.
Yeah.
He said, the only thing we're not putting people in like prison for in this bill is a jaywalking. Or like, that's what he said. And that's the crime bill that was in the 90s that he wrote, that he was like talking about. And that's what people always bring up. And that locked up so many people in these lower income communities because they were trying to crack down on drugs, right? That's what these things are framed like. But really what it is they just want to lock more people up so they can make more money off of the incarceration system. And it's so frustrating. And then these guys are the guys that'll go on TV and they'll smile in your face and they'll just not tell you a single thing about what they're actually going to do. Right. They'll just say this rhetoric about, like, they'll speak in platitudes and say, at least I'm not the other guy. Like, that's an argument. Like, that's the level that we're communicating on a lot of the time. It's like, well, I just hate Donald Trump so much. And then we can't even talk about why someone would support someone like Donald Trump. But it's just so...
We can't talk about the good shit that he has done.
Or you can't say a single positive thing even.
Yeah.
Because now you're supporting him.
Because you're supporting racism if you say that.
Yeah. And I don't even... Like, and that's why I prefaced it. I don't like him, just in case people get the wrong idea, you know?
Yeah, right. And it's kind of stupid that we even got to say shit like that. Yeah. Like, in the country that you voice your opinion and it's freedom of speech, but... Anyways, dude, you know what I mean? Like, we ain't doing no good fighting over shit.
No,
like,
we're not.
You know what I mean? I think that, like, that's what they want us to do, bro. They don't want us to.
You're right.
They don't want us to come together. They want us to keep on battling over racism. They want us to keep on fighting and shit, bro. Like, I just wonder why, like, we don't come together, you know what I mean, as much as we could. Because as people say, like, I don't know, they, like, support Black Lives Matter. They'll post a picture on Instagram and stuff like that. But, like, really, what are you doing in the world? Like, when you step outside, like, interacting with everybody, like, are you actually, like, doing shit, or are you just fucking making a little Facebook post?
Well, what I didn't like was when there was that blackout thing. Because you saw a lot of people, and I'm not trying to call anybody out, it's like people who didn't say anything else about any of it. Yeah. They did post that blackout picture, and it's like, I get it, you're trying to be supportive, but that's the only thing you're going to say? It's like you're just trying to hop on.
Right. And then also people getting mad at people who didn't post about that shit. Yeah, it's like, motherfucker might not even been on social media, bro. Like, you're such a jerk.
I just don't think that's a form of support. I don't think that actually
like,
is a form of support.
You guys could be saying that because he didn't share the Black Lives Matter picture on his thing. You could be saying he's not doing shit for that community, but... low-key, he could be out there, like, every day doing some shit.
Exactly.
Like you don't even know.
And that's honest change. Like, maybe posting something would make somebody think about it. But that's about all it's going to do. It's a post. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I just feel like, you know, yeah, I agree with that. Because I don't know. It's just like, you know... Speak with actions, not with words, for one thing. Like, you know, you want your actions to speak for themselves rather than always trying to go out there and prove to people that you feel some type of way. The other thing I wanted to say is that, do you know why? You know why this doesn't change? Because it's impossible to, like, there are movements, and that's why I said independent media is so important. But if the narrative is always framed as these are extremists on this side, these are extremists on this side, and really the way we have things going is fine.
Yeah.
If that's what we truly are going to keep accepting, and it's like vote blue or no matter what, vote red no matter what, like it's always against the other thing, we will never be able to have an honest conversation about what we actually need to do in order to change things. And that's why I said there needs to be some kind of third option or something. Like, we cannot keep doing this because it has actively gotten worse years after years after years. Like, this is the worst election we have ever had, without question, in terms of, like, the way that we talk to each other about topics. Like, there is no middle ground. And it exists, but it's, like, harder to find. And it has to be created within this ether of just negativity and pessimism towards the other side. And it's like what you're saying. Why can't we just come together? Well, maybe because the people with money make it seem like we really could never come together. And if you have enough money, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
I just think it's like you're saying too, like most of these stories, like most of the hateful, like more negative stories are gonna get more publicity, and like, they're gonna get more money if they have more people viewing their stuff.
Oh, you'll get more shares if you have a BS headline.
Right. They don't. So, you know what I mean? There's just so many things that tie into it, bro. But the only thing you can do is, like you're saying, like focus on like the people that you can affect immediately in your life. Like whether that's just 2 people that you talk to and change their view or step in their life in some kind of way.
Because
like,
in the end,
that's
those
2
things,
people that you helped out. You know what I mean? Like
those things are just out there. Those are not real life. Like what you have right in front of you in these genuine relationships are the real change.
That's what I try to do, bro. It's just like anybody that I come in contact with, like especially during these times with like the racism and shit. Like if I see somebody who's not white or this color or whatever color, like I just try to like make them just like feel my vibe, like that I'm not against you. You know what I mean? Like I'm with you. You know what I mean? And like I like to think in my head that like those people will like look at, because I was being that way towards them, they like will switch their whole like mindset towards white people or whoever. You know what I mean? Like
it's the butterfly effect.
In general, you know
the butterfly effect of our actions, and it's the same thing I was talking about with art. It's like if I choose to do this, the value of what I have chosen to do is not inherently right there. It's like all of these minor differences that you can make along the way.
Right.
Like throughout all of those things that you might say and that positive response you might give that person, it's like what you just said.
Yeah.
Like what if that genuinely influenced them to think differently because you gave them a genuine response?
Yeah, they're like, okay, not every white freaking person is
exactly.
KKK supporter, you know what I mean?
And
like,
that could mean a lot to them.
Yeah.
Like, sure, maybe one to you, that's just a random occurrence, but to them, that could be the thing that they needed to push them, to show them.
Because, like, that's another thing, bro. Like, we're all growing up in our cultures and what we're taught as a kid and growing, and, like, what people tell us is wrong and right, we're going to, like, believe. So, like, if somebody's sitting there telling you, like, the white man's against us your whole life,
I agree.
You're going to have, like, a stigma built in already.
We're much more impressionable than we give ourselves credit for.
Right. And, like, I feel like, you know, I just want to switch that thought process so much, bro. And, like, we all should. Like, why are we thinking like that? Like,
I agree.
If we really are against, like, these, like, separation and shit, then we shouldn't be, like, teaching our people, that, like, to hate each other right when they come out of the fucking womb and shit. You know what I mean?
Though?
Like,
remember, we're in Flint. We're in a place with a... you think so? That's just everywhere?
I think everybody...
getting worse?
I think everybody in the whole world, like, if you're Arabic, you're probably going to grow up hating white people. If you're like on a, like, not necessarily like, obviously not everybody is doing that, but like a majority, like a lot of majority. I know a lot of white people that are racist as fuck, bro. You know what I mean? Like, they may not admit it, but
they don't even.
By the way
it's
they
like
talk,
learned. They don't. Sometimes they aren't even fully aware of the racism they admit. But
the reason they're probably like that is because their fucking parents are racist, and
the reason they're like that.
Yeah, and they told them that. You know what I mean? They planted these seeds in their head.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, hey, we're all fucking equal. It doesn't matter what your skin color is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, their ancestors did some fucked up shit. Yeah, you know. But they didn't do that, you know what I mean? And I shouldn't take them that they're going to fucking do that to me right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I try to encourage individualism. I try to, like, if I had anybody that I was giving them any advice, I don't care what your opinion is as long as you're expressing it honestly.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you're being honest, and then we can have an honest conversation, because as soon as you start withholding things, it's like you're not being as much of an individual. And when you're trained, like you just said, if you're trained to be racist, then you're not as much of an individual, because now your parents, they never told you, hey, even if your parents are racist, if they couldn't at least train you, hey, you're your own person. Don't take in all the things I'm doing. Like, don't, because it's almost impossible to do that. But it's a trait that you really need to. And it's like what I was saying about music and it being meditative. You're kind of training yourself. You're kind of training yourself almost to ignore all this outside noise and embrace this individualism and this acceptance of yourself and this belief that you truly do understand things and you do understand you're in touch with your surroundings.
Yes.
Because, dude, mofos will try and convince you don't know a damn thing, and you're crazy, and then you'll really get convinced. And I think the thing is, that's why I said we're more impressionable than we give ourselves credit for. Because you could say, well, why does nobody just think this way? Right. But when you have a society that just treats you like this, and it really acts like that's the way things are supposed to be, then what are you gonna do? It's gonna be harder for you to express yourself.
This is a big thing, bro. Because this is why I feel so alone, in my thinking process and shit, because, I don't know, bro. And it has led to, lots of, depression and just not want to be here. I don't want to say, suicidal thoughts, because I don't think I could ever go to, that, fully,
But it's thoughts of, being worthless.
Not wanting to be here, because I feel like the way I think and I feel is, way different than what that this world is, bro. I just don't fit in with this world. Everything that's going around, bro. I just feel like it's sometimes this world is sometimes can be really a dark place.
I agree.
And I just I almost have to make life more simple in my head and just ignore all this shit. You know what I mean? And
well, you have to really remember it's noise.
I make a Facebook post and say some shit because I'm like, man, I got this fire burning in me. I want to know why we're like this. Why, what other people think. Am I alone in this thought process? Wanting us just to come together and not fight like we are, you know what I mean?
And then that's what happened.
Yeah.
And then that's what happened.
And then, right, people...
And it's you sit there and you go, nope, we're not coming together. We're not coming together. It's not happening.
Yeah, I really, anytime I've, done some, rambling shit on Facebook, it's really because I just, want to know what other people think and feel.
Yeah, me too.
To get their opinion, because...
That's why I made a point about critical thinking, because I genuinely think it's just an act of critical thinking. We're trying to critically think about these topics so that way we can analyze it and actually reflect on it. If you just didn't do that, then
that's what we need to be doing more of, bro. Because people don't want to talk about these issues that we're talking about right now. You know what I mean?
And I would denounce materialism to anyone if they truly pressed me on it. I'll be nice, and I'm gonna respect your decisions. But if you press me on it, I'll say no. Of course, we shouldn't be promoting that, especially as artists.
Right.
I mean, I respect you. But if you press me on it, I'll say no. That's not something we should do. Because I'm being honest with you. I'm going to be straight with you and call a spade and not play this game where we're just holding back. Because it's what I said. If I'm not honest and we're not having a genuine discussion, we get to a point where everybody's pulling punches now. Yeah. And now everybody's trying to play a side rather than just being an individual and being honest.
Everybody's pulling punches. Yeah. That's how they...
Or they're
not pulling punches because they're too scared of fucking that people are going to look at it like a punch. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
I just think, for me, the way I look at it is people will always misinterpret your energy. And I've been meaning to do a solo podcast just about this topic because I think it's a good thing to talk about. Yeah. Is just positivity in the face of because that's the only way you can make it through this, dude. Everything, I feel it's like what you're saying. It's depressing. You try to look into these social media platforms, or you try to just to have fun with it, just to get out there and just like you said, you're generally trying to inspire thought when you post something like that, and this is what happens. But to me, it's at least it generated a response, and that is what's important. And what's also important is the fact that I can go out here and I can express myself in any which way. And it doesn't matter how my energy is interpreted. It matters the inherent energy that I am putting out into the world. Because whoever does interpret that, however they interpret it, that's whatever. I know what I'm putting out there, and I can be, if I'm confident enough in that, if I'm just positive that I am being positive, you cannot convince me I'm being negative. Yes. There's no way in the world, because I know what I'm saying is not negative. And so when you tell me I'm just coming out here and I'm saying these negative things, to me it's no, you're just misinterpreting everything I'm trying to say here. And it gets so tiring to a point, because it's like what I was saying earlier. It makes me want to back off of these platforms. But at the same time, it's I'm sure that makes a difference to someone. Because someone will see me doing this and they'll say, well, he's being honest. And they will, that's the thing. You don't get likes for going on somebody else's post and disagreeing with them because their friends don't want to like your comment. They don't want their friend to know that they actually agree with the person that they're arguing with. So that's why that doesn't happen all the time. But I bet you there's a bunch of and that's the other thing is there's always an audience that sees these things. It's not just two people talking.
Yeah.
So when it's presented like I'm misinterpreted and you're misinterpreting my energy, sure, you might think you're winning by throwing off what I'm doing, but really anybody can go back and look at that whole conversation and they'll see what I was saying objectively. And they'll see what you were saying objectively. And if they have their own interpretation of it, if they disagree with me, that's fine. Because I'm just expressing myself and I know I'm not being negative. I'm just trying to be a positive influence or just, like you said,
trying to make a point
or generate discussion and thought. If there's anything I've ever tried to do with my art, it's like what I said to you earlier, that quote, a match to a spark to inspire. I want to see you start a fire. It's about generating thought within the person that is looking at the art. And so I don't care if it's a negative thought, if it's a positive thought, if it's whatever. At least I made you think because that thought should be reflective. If you felt like it was negative, what I did, and you feel negatively about it, why do you feel that way?
Right.
And now you can think about it. But at least you felt some type of way.
Like human beings.
Or not even that. Just you can have an inner dialogue because it's like you felt some type of way. Like if I was just making basic music, not speaking my mind, nobody would ever think either way. They wouldn't agree with me. They wouldn't disagree with me. And I would rather be the guy that would just say something and inspire that thought and genuinely just put out whatever energy I want to put out. And if people don't like that, they don't have to like it. But I'm just using the tools at my disposal. That's all I'm doing. Like I'm just being myself, people. But it seems like it's so much harder to do that sometimes nowadays. Seems like being yourself is like some kind of crime. It's like, what are you doing out here trying to talk to me?
Not all people are going to support it, dude, but I got your back.
But it's one love. It's one love. And that's the thing that gets lost in the sauce as well. It's one love. You really think I'm mad at y'all? Anybody think I'm mad at you? I love you guys. Like, if you ever think that anything I ever said ever was out of hate, you are out of your mind. I am such, like, a peaceful person. It's ridiculous. The only thing I get mad at is my computer when it messes up loading things. I'm a baby boy.
Anybody who's, like, thinks that this kid is some, like, evil person or some shit.
You're out of your mind.
I can just tell he's one of the, like, probably soft-hearted people with nice, genuine dudes out there. So
same for you though, dude. Like you're not a negative person, and it's a shame that would even be interpreted that way. You know what I'm saying? It's a shame that you feel as if you're not. Because the thing is, people, you get the sense that people would disagree with you, and the world is not this genuine thing. But that is so not true. It's just the way that people treat people. You know, it really gives you this impression that that's how people. But do you get treated like that in person all the time? Or is it just on the internet where you experience these things?
Yeah, it's just on the internet.
Exactly. And it's like, this is this environment where people just feel like they can treat people differently for some reason. And it's not real.
No, but it's a false voice, really. But, you know.
I mean, what I said earlier about, like, you know, life itself is just waking up and it's just being alive. It's just being awake. And that's the most important part. It's like, you know, you can think about the fact that how tiring it is that all these people are like being stressful and you can't even express yourself. But at the same time, it's like you could also just like, what did people do 20 years ago when there wasn't a phone? You just wouldn't even be thinking about it. That's not even in your brain. And the thing is, we get so lost in this idea that is like what's happening. It's not. If you literally just made a song, you just spend time away from it. You go outside. You get fresh air. You know, you literally just meditate for 30 minutes. You get kind of in touch with yourself. Something. Listen to some music. Just get away from all of that noise. And then all of a sudden, you remember what you are again. Because it really makes you forget what you are. I have a song called, I can't remember what it's called, but the chorus goes like, to keep my mind up on my thoughts, I stay away from you. A million things I don't know why I'd even say or do. Give me a reason, in my mind it's open season. Don't you love the way I leave it? Okay. And then it just keeps going. But the idea is, like, if I'm surrounded by all this energy, I will become this energy.
Yeah.
And if I want to stay in touch with myself, I gotta like stay away. I gotta go in my own zone. Be that whatever it is. Be that me listening to music.
That's some deep shit, bro.
It's true though, man.
That's awareness for sure, bro. Cause like
you gotta be in touch with your chakras.
Yeah.
Keep them aligned, baby.
Your formula for happiness. You gotta be in touch with that shit.
Yeah.
Your recipe, whatever you personally need to do to maintain happiness, like, or your just peace. You know what I mean? Cause like you said, sometimes you gotta take maybe for some people it's just taking a stroll through like some park somewhere in the woods and just breathing the fresh air. Like.
Well, I suggest things like that because I find in my life that reconnecting with nature or reconnecting with my body through nature or something, those things tend to help so much in terms of just
ground you, like
grounding you, because you're a human, you're a person, like you're not whatever I think your ego is literally, there's a separate ego that exists online. It's not you.
Yes.
Like it's something else. And if you think that's you, it's not you. Yep. And so like when you're out there and you're just like, that's why I say I don't think I'm anything. I don't think that I'm like, I like to be self-depreciative and like have that humiliation about myself, because then my ego will never build up, and I'll never look at something I said and like be so self-judgmental, because it's like, I don't care. I'm not anything. And if I just wake up and I breathe and I exist and I talk to you and I don't think, or I don't overthink anything, then I'm just being, and that is fine. That is what life should be.
You want to know what I learned though? Like,
tell me what you learned.
That's not a good thing for an artist to be like that. No,
you don't think so?
No, because I think that the more like ego you and like pride you have, like the more you display that, other people like I don't know, for some reason that seems to be more marketable in this day and age. Like somebody who's like, we're not marketable, and like on a standpoint, like if I'm just like meeting you for the first time, I'm a humble person. I'm not gonna be like telling you every single, like I do music and all this shit. Like I'm just gonna be like humble about it, like, cause just like I'm a normal dude, like, you know what I mean? But like low key, I do music and all this cool ass shit, but you're never gonna know that, cause like that's my humbleness. But there's like some people that like first thing they're like, I'm a rapper, I'm this, go check my music, here's my Instagram, you know what I mean? Like this, they're like already putting themselves, like to everybody they come in contact with, you know, and like some people don't even know I rap that know me, like, or make music, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because I'm like so I just don't even, like sometimes I feel like I'm being cocky if I'm like telling people, like a group of people are like asking me what I do in my free time. Like sometimes I can feel like they think I'm being cocky when I'm saying it, but really I'm just telling them what the fuck I like to do. You know what I mean? Like,
perhaps it's marketing, but actions speak louder than words. So I could sit here and I could tell you I'm a rapper, but if we just talked for an hour and I didn't even rap, and then I rap for 2 minutes and leave, or if we just sit here and talk for an hour and then you hear my songs later, you're like, what? He didn't even mention this.
Yeah, you're like,
what
holy
in the
shit.
World? What?
Yeah. It's like a whole other person,
yeah,
bro.
Now you're all surprised. So like for me, it's like that be humble thing. It's like, you could do that, but for me, I try to promote that like egoless thing, because I think like nowadays
it's a good thing to promote.
Yeah, we don't really need to be all caught up in that. Like it's more peaceful with yourself if you accept that you're not that important.
Yeah.
You aren't. None of us are.
We're not a shit stain.
No.
On the underpants of society.
And if you're not that important, if you're not determining your importance based on whether or not you're a shit stain on the underpants of society, then you're never being constantly disappointed by the fact that you are that shit stain. You know what I mean? If you're not valuing yourself that way, you will never actually get caught up in that, because it's like, I don't care.
Right.
I don't care. Like, it literally doesn't matter, because society doesn't determine whether or not I can breathe in fresh air and wake up and meditate. Right. Society doesn't tell me anything about that. I just do it. I can do that with nothing. I can do that with literally nothing and no clothes. Right. I can just walk around and like breathe and go, get in peace with myself. I could do that if I wanted, because I am a human being, and that's what's so liberating. And it's just so sad that we are walking around here and we're all acting like we are just mad Why are we so mad? Life should be fun. I have such a good time. I love doing these things. Like, even just conversations with other people are, like, so much fun to me.
Yeah.
Because we're interacting. And this is fun.
You gotta understand, though, like, some people, they don't got I don't know what to describe, like your energy, maybe, or something.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, like...
Energy's a good word.
Like... Some people are just like I said, like kind of similar to myself. Like just kind of sick of the world you live in and shit. And you're just like, fuck this. Like it's hard.
They're done.
It's hard to have energy.
They're
like
done.
Like really positive energy
agree.
when you feel like that every day you wake up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, what I admire people who can be like that, because I know, like, deep down, they're thinking the same shit.
Oh,
you know
dude,
what I mean?
yeah.
They're just not paying attention to it. Like, well, maybe they are, but they're just not letting it take over their life. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And, like, I admire people like you for that aspect, bro. Like, you don't, like, that's some, like, shit that you wouldn't know.
That's deep.
But, yeah, like, I like to tell people this shit, bro, because, like, I think that, like, sometimes, like, we need to hear this shit. Like, you need to hear that shit, bro, because... Like you can make an effect on other people with that, you know what I mean? And you do, you know what I mean? And like, that's something that we need more in this life from everybody, you know, just to be more happy-go-lucky, more just like focus on the good things that you're doing and not the negative, and just spread that like energy to people, because like, I don't know, like when you walk into a room or when you're talking to people, you can feel that, like, your positivity, bro. You know what I mean? And like sometimes I feel like I can be doing this the exact same, but the opposite. Like my energy is bringing the negative. You know what I mean? And like, so I really have been working on, you know,
it's a meditative thing. It's a you cannot do it in one day. It's a very conscious
thing too, like that people don't understand. Like you have to like consciously,
especially if you deal with mental illness.
Especially because you have
and
to,
everyone does to an extent. I truly believe that.
I believe that too. I think that everybody is like bipolar on some kind of level. Maybe not like as severe, but I think that like sometimes everybody just for no reason will feel like shit. Like,
for sure.
Just be some weird reason, and like that's a form of bipolar when you're, you know, doing that shit. But
it's the natural, you know, waves of life. I mean, I think I really appreciate you saying that, because, you know, I pour myself into my art in every way I can. I really do. I don't just say that, you know, like when I write a song, I'm being honest. And a lot of those emotions of self-doubt or those emotions of reflection come out through like the things I write in a way. Or just my expressionism, you know, I think you can pick that out if you're someone who is that way with themselves.
Yeah.
You can see when people, you know, have that kind of reflective nature about themselves, where they look at the things they do and they, you know, like I truly I've dealt with a lot of self-doubt over the years. I think I've gotten a lot better with it. I mean, constantly it's still there, because, like, I said this in another podcast. You know, it's crazy how anxiety works, because it'll, or whatever you want to call it, whatever the feeling is, because it'll truly convince you that these ideas are real. No one likes me. No one cares for what I have to say. When I do say things, it's not valued. It doesn't matter.
I sound stupid. I look stupid.
I sound stupid. I look stupid. You look at videos of yourself. You're like, oh my God, I look like an idiot. But the thing is, then someone like you will say something like that. And it makes those emotions, like, what am I even doing when I say that? If that's the way people can interpret things. And they'll see that, even because when I do this, I don't think I'm really doing anything. But it's just a matter of, like you said, it's like pushing all of that back. Because if I paid attention to all that, I would be sad. I'd be depressed. I'd be constantly, and I have been there.
Right.
Like one thing that really helped me is I was with a girl for 4 years and we broke up, and that was the most depressed I have ever been. Mm-hmm. Like that's the lowest low I've hit so far, and I'll never forget what that was like. And it really like put me back at ground zero. You know, it reminded me like, I was just overvaluing all of this, and it's just all a matter of the way I perceive it. And if I just walk around and I really, truly convince myself all of these things are true, or at least if I buy into those thoughts that are still there, they don't go away. But if I truly believe those thoughts, then I won't be happy and I won't be able to express myself. And that's the most important thing is when I do this, people like you will say things like that.
Yeah.
And you know how valuable that is to me?
Yeah.
Like to hear someone say things like, you know, I see you saying stuff like this and your genuine positivity and it makes a difference to me. It makes me realize that maybe I could be that way. That is such a genuine thing to say and a genuine response to me just being myself. Because that's, you know, it's like what I was saying about the butterfly effect thing. It's like you are, you know, these things that you do and these things that you choose to do, they have so many effects that you could never even imagine. So I just try to follow that code. Be the change you want to see. Like if I just wish that people were kinder and got along better and I just treat people that way, maybe at least the 2 out of 100 people that do pick up on it, they'll at least change the world and they'll make the world a little bit more positive because they saw me do it. And maybe they won't. Maybe they will. But there's just this honest, like, you know, I just think it really is like, it sucks because, you know, I think that it's hard to truly express what it feels like to feel feelings of self-doubt. Like I've seen people who are really like, they're depressed. Like they're very incapable of having positive thoughts. And it's I can't imagine how bad that is because I'm not that bad. I get depressed, but I'm not in a state of depression. And so like, I just like, it's so hard. I have to imagine if you don't experience any true anxiety or mental illness to fully understand what that feels like, because it feels like you're being strangled. It feels like you're trying to reach out, but just constantly your wings are clipped and you just can't do these things because society itself is just against you. And it's all in your head.
It's all in your head.
It's all in your head. And you can even know it's in your head, but it'll still eat at you. Like
I think that's something that like people with anxiety really struggle to do is like, like they, even though they know what's in their head, they can't like consciously be like, fuck it. Like, I'm just gonna fucking do it. Like, fuck what other people are thinking about me. Like, they're not controlling anything that I'm gonna be doing. Why the fuck do I care about what they're thinking or what, you know what I mean? It's almost like it's like almost impossible for people with anxiety to do that. Like, and I just realized this through dating my girlfriend. She has anxiety really bad, sometimes to the point where she's up to like 4 in the morning, bro. Like, and I feel horrible because I'm like, I wake up and I see her on her phone and she can't go to sleep, but she has anxiety that bad. And I just like I just like feel so bad for her, dude, because it's like it's not something that she can control, bro. Just like my bipolar is like I can't control when I'm gonna just like feel like shit one day for no reason, you know. It's just gonna hit me, and what I can control is like to consciously be like, I'm not gonna let this affect me, you know what I mean? But it's so fucking hard to do that, bro, in the moment, like when you're feeling,
especially in the moment.
Yeah, in the
Upon
moment.
reflection,
that's what I mean.
it's way easier.
Upon reflection, you're like, fuck, I could have handled it that
way differently.
Yeah, but in the moment, to like just like, you know, and then just like take in what the fuck's going on, dude. You know what I mean? And just like calm yourself down and then react the proper way that needs to be done. Like I feel like that.
It's a skill.
Yeah, it's a skill. And it takes practice, bro. Like there ain't something that you can just fucking do overnight. You know what I mean? Like you have to catch yourself in the act, like time and time again. And then it becomes like second nature eventually. Like I feel like I'm slowly getting better with catching myself when I feel that way. Like I just look around at the people around me and I'm like, I can't fucking be feeling this. Like what is wrong with like in my life right now to where I'm feeling like this? And I say, oh, this is your mental illness you deal with, and this is just a phase, bro. Like, and then like a couple hours later, I'm feeling totally different and feeling good again. You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's kind of like what I said before about the ego. I think like if you really didn't buy into that ego, if you truly didn't believe you were anything, then you wouldn't be in this mindset at all. You know, it never occurs because it's never a case of, you know, like, or at least it occurs, but it's like, it's so much easier to subside it. You know, you said you've done psychedelics.
Yeah.
You know what it's like. You get out of that zone where your brain is here and now you're egoless. You're not your usual self. And there's something
ego death.
Yes, and there's something about that is truly comforting, because you realize that
Sorry, dude. I'm hot as fuck.
I can pop this fan on real quick.
No, it's all good.
You sure?
I'm good now.
But you realize that perception is. I just didn't expect it. He poured water on himself. But you realize that perception is all like, I could sit here and I could think these things, but like we said before, it's all in your head. And if there's anything that teaches you that, it's things that truly alter your perception, like psychedelics, where you truly realize none of this is real. Yeah. I truly convince myself of these perspectives, and then I can have this type of experience where I realize none of that. It's all a construct of my mind, and I've created it. Yeah. And your brain is a brilliant thing. Yeah. It will convince you of the strangest things. It will convince you, it will make you think it's a fact. And so it's like that, like I said about you're keeping your ego in check. You have to train yourself to do it. It's like in those moments. Yeah. In that moment when your ego's going wild.
You got to catch it.
You have to catch it. And you have to go, wait a minute.
That's the only way.
I am being myself right now.
Yeah. And, that's pretty much it, bro. Like, if there's anything you could get to help you out with anxiety or any kind of mental illness, it's just to catch it when it starts coming. And I know it's hard. It's a lot easier said than done, but that's the only advice I could give. Because
no ego, we go.
Yeah, right. But hey, bud,
there it is.
My girlfriend is blowing me up.
Oh, there it is.
For you guys who don't know.
Let me tell you though, because I was just waiting for the moment. This was my longest podcast yet. This is my longest one. You broke the record, buddy. Fuck 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours.
Wow.
And we just talked the whole time. That was we did pretty good.
There was lots of shit to talk about, man.
Honestly, and I'd be happy to have you on again, because I feel like we just talked for 2.5 hours and we're cutting it short. We're stopping.
Right. Yeah.
We just stopped mid-conversation.
I would keep going if it wasn't 1:30 in the morning. My girlfriend's blowing me up.
That's why I laughed, because it's like
she's like, "Are you still coming over?" I'm like, "Yeah."
It's funny how
it's almost done.
I've had people ask me before podcasts. They'll go, "How long do these usually go for? What's the plan?" I just be like, "Let's just do it, man."
And that's what I was telling my girl, and she almost came with me, and she's having some family shit going on tonight. And I'm like, just stay, because these things can go on for hours, possibly. You don't know.
I feel bad for people who come with for a podcast, because it's like, bro, you realize unless you're mic'd up. You're just chilling over there for a couple hours, or however long it goes,
and it might be boring.
And it might be boring for you. Yeah, you can talk every now and then. I ain't stopping you, but it's just not that. It's not as fun when you're the artist. When you're not the artist,
right?
Maybe if you were rapping. But what I was gonna say is they'll ask how long it's gonna go, and it's I can't tell you. But when we're in the middle of a conversation, it's we'll hit this point where it's an hour and a half, and it's oh man, all right, here we are. Right. Here we are. I'll I haven't looked at the clock. That's why I looked right when you said it, because I was just kind of thinking man, I know it's been a minute.
It's been a fucking minute, but
you broke the record. I broke
the record. Killer Camm broke the record.
Killer Camm broke the record.
Yeah. I really enjoy doing this shit, though. So
and I appreciate your support, dude, because there's one point in here where you said that this is, you said something about the idea of the podcast itself is a great idea.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate you, man, and doing this shit in, 60 seconds and, putting everybody on, letting them get to know us a little bit.
I love the craft, man. Yeah. It's all about the craft.
A lot of people want to know who we are, outside of the music, and actually hear us have a conversation and just be a real motherfucker for a second. So, I was glad I could come on here and chill with you, bro, and do that. So, I'm definitely down to do this shit again, though.
Oh, we will do it again.
Yeah, part 2.
We will do it again. It's just funny because I did not think we were gonna do a 2.5 hour. We really broke my record.
I know. We got.
Look at us.
In honor of me breaking the record, we must smoke a blunt after this.
Hey-o! I do not object. Don't tell my mama.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for being here, Ruse Radio. It has been a pleasure, honestly. I usually try to do a nice little. I'll try to wrap it in a bow at the end. So I should say, people like this man right here. People like Camm Lapeen.
Ain't shit.
No. They be coming out here. They be pouring their hearts and souls into music. And you know what, man? You can say what you will. But when this man tells me that it doesn't matter to him if nobody listens to what he makes, as long as he's just, making something that he can live with, that's helping him out, and also, something that can maybe be for his homies. When someone says something like that, you know where their head is at. You know that actions speak louder than words. It's the intent that matters, folks.
Yeah.
So just watch what people do, and maybe think twice next time. Thank you so much for being here. Ruse Radio, clocking out.